A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat welcome 30 new stations to their network tonight as they present Fibber McGee and Molly with songs by the petite and glamorous Martha Tilton, the top-ranking King's Men, and the music of Billy Mills. The show, written by Don Quinn, opens with I'm Not in the Mood. Well, it's great to have Fibber and Molly back again, isn't it? They're all tanned and rested after their vacations, and I'm sure they have lots of good fun in store for your Tuesday evenings from now on. Our sponsors, the makers of Johnson's Wax products, would like to join all of you in giving them a royal welcome. Here's to Fibber and Molly and Don Quinn, the writer, and all the members of this fine cast of performers. May they live long and happily, and may they continue to be your friends and your favorite radio program. And may I thank all of you for our sponsors, because after all, it's your continued and enthusiastic loyalty to Johnson Wax products that has made this whole affair so successful. It's a good thing to remember, by the way, that whenever you buy any Johnson's Wax product, you're buying the best, and you're sure of complete satisfaction. All good things, even vacations, must come to an end. And a good thing, too, because a bank account is a good thing, too. And two people we know were coming to the end of that, too. And here, just arriving home at 79 Wistful Vista, we find for the first time in 13 weeks those travel-weary, train-tired, ship-shapeless, map-happy homecomers, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Heavenly days. Isn't it wonderful to be home again, McGee?
Ah, home. A four-letter word meaning no tipping. I can hardly wait to see everybody. Tell them about Alaska and the big bear I shot. I'll knock 'em dead.
My, doesn't the house look good?
Yeah.
Uncle Dennis must have taken wonderful care of it whilst we were gone.
Yeah? I'll bet he's got the house full of flies.
Why, it's too late in the year for flies.
Not for bar flies. I wonder if he's home.
Well, I'll see. Yoo-hoo! Uncle Dennis, it's Molly and Fibber. We're home. Yoo-hoo! Uncle Dennis. Maybe he's out.
He may be away, but he ain't out. That guy can hold more than
McGee. Now, will you please stop talking that way about me, Uncle Dennis? He's every inch a gentleman.
He is? Remind me to measure him next time he falls down. Well, I'll have to admit he's got everything in pretty good order around here. Ah, boy. Let me sit down in my old easy chair a minute.
There you are.
Ah, posh out of bar. Thank goodness we only have to take one vacation a year. Sure tires you out, don't it?
Yes, but it's been a wonderful trip. You've learned all about salmon fishing, bear hunting, and underwater photography.
Huh? What do you mean, underwater photography?
You mean it was accidental when you fell out of the canoe with a movie camera? Oh, dear, look out the window and see who it is, McGee.
Oh, it's Mrs. Uppington. Come in, Uppy.
How do you do, Abigail? My, it's nice to see you again.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Effie. I'm glad to see even you. How's the world been treating you, Seldom?
Have you had a nice summer, Abigail?
Oh, delightful, Mr. McGee, simply delightful. I spent the summer singing for the boys in the army camp. Oh, but tell me, where have you been and what have you been doing?
Well, sir, Effie, we drove to Seattle and took a boat to Alaska. Wonderful country, too. It's the...
Oh, my, how those soldiers did appreciate my singing. I was on the program with another lady singer, you know, and they simply wouldn't let me leave the platform. They kept shouting, more, give us more.
Oh, well, that must have made the other singer feel fine. Who was she?
Grace Moore, I believe.
Well, let me tell you about Alaska, Uppy. It's a beautiful country. You ain't seen anything till you've seen the first rays of the Arctic sun glinting on the icy waters of Ketchikan Creek with the...
Oh, you must tell me all about it, Mr. McGee. Sometime. But now I simply must be going. I must let nothing interfere with my work for the boys. Oh, did I ever show you the lovely letter of appreciation I received from the White House for my work in a previous national emergency?
Yes, you did, Abigail. And I must say it was real thoughtful of President Lincoln to do it.
Yes, indeed it was. I beg your pardon. It was President Wilson. Goodbye.
Wow. If I'd have been you, Molly, I wouldn't have been quite so...
I almost forgot. Welcome home.
Folks, we're happy to welcome to our show tonight that sensational young songstress, Martha Tilton. Martha?
You will shout when it hits you, yes indeed. You will shout when it hits you, yes indeed. When the Spirit moves you, you shout hallelujah. Oh, you holler, yes indeed. Can you play sweet music?
Yes indeed.
I mean that really sweet music.
Yes indeed.
Yes, indeed. It's sweet as sugar candy, yes, indeed. Can you play hard music?
Yes indeed.
I mean that extra hard music.
Yes indeed.
Yes, indeed. It's harder than a blacksmith's apron, yes, indeed. When the band starts playing, that is all you need. And you find yourself swaying, yes, indeed. When the boys start swinging and forget to read, you will find yourself singing, yes, indeed. You will shout when it hits you. Yes, indeed, you will shout when it hits you. Yes, indeed, when the Spirit starts to move you, you'll be shouting hallelujah. Oh, you holler, yes, indeed. Oh, you holler, yes, you holler, yes, indeed.
Well, you'll have to admit, McGee, Uncle Dennis has kept the house in apple pie order.
He would. He knows I don't like apple pie. Is he home?
Yes, he's taking a nap.
What's that?
I told you. Uncle Dennis is taking a nap.
Yeah, but what's that noise?
It's a woodpecker. He sleeps like a log.
Yes, indeed. By the way, I wonder if that taxidermist in Seattle has sent me that bearskin yet.
Oh, it's too soon, dearie. Takes a little time to cure it, you know.
Not when I shoot 'em. When McGee draws a bead on 'em, bang. They're cured of whatever troubles they ever had.
Come in.
Well. Billy Mill.
Hello, Billy. My, it's nice to see you again.
Hello, kids. Welcome home.
Thanks, Billy. And what kind of a summer did you have?
Swell, babe. Very groovy. You mean gravy? No, groovy. In the groove.
Oh. Have you the same bunch of nice boys in your band this year, Billy?
Yeah, all but my scribble player. Had to let him go. Why, Bill? You know what a scribble is?
No.
Neither did he, neither did I, so I had to let him go. Well, we went up to Alaska, Billy. Great country, too. Yeah, I've heard of it. Up that way, isn't it? Yeah, you ought to run up there sometime, Billy. Boy, if you could ever get a load of the first rays of the Arctic sun glinting on the icy waters of Ketchikan Creek. Ah, Alaska.
Say, maybe my secretary would know what a scribble is.
Alaska.
I'll ask her myself. See you later, babe. So long, kid.
Alaska myself. If that ain't the worst pun.
Well, he couldn't help it. He just reads what's rotten.
You mean written?
I know what I mean. All the time we have... Oh, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Harlow. Welcome home. Or no, you're supposed to say that.
All right, welcome home. Have a nice trip?
Simply grand, Mr. Wilcox. Did you know we went to Alaska?
Yes, I heard about it. Have fun?
I'll say, Paul shot a bar.
He did?
Yes, sir.
Gee.
7 feet 3 inches from Beezer to Bustle, too. That's a great country, Harlow. If you could ever see the first rays of the Arctic sun glinting on the icy waters of Ketchikan Creek.
I had a great time myself this summer, right here in Wistful Vista.
You did?
Yeah. Boy, if you could only see the beauty as I do, in the first rays of the Wistful Vista sunshine, glinting on the lovely surface of a freshly glow-coated linoleum, bringing out new life to the pattern and coloring and protecting it from scuffing and cracking, you wouldn't have to go to Alaska.
Yes, but you can't shoot bear in somebody's kitchen.
He doesn't shoot bear, he shoots the...
McGee.
Incidentally, Molly, you'll have to give me partial credit for your house being so well kept while you were away.
Why, Uncle Harlow? Asked little Fibber, with a mischievous twinkle in his merry blue eyes, because he knew darn well what was in store for all his little radio friends.
Well, I stopped by and gave Uncle Dennis a lecture on the value of Johnson's glow coat in the home.
Oh.
I made him set down his tray of ice cubes and really listen. Look, Dennis, I said, Molly took great care in selecting that linoleum, and you've got to take good care of it. How, he says, putting the corkscrew back in his pocket. With glow coat, I said. It shines as it dries in 20 minutes or less, and dirt and dust wipe right off. Well, that was the story, and now I've got to be getting along, folks. Say, I'm glad you're back.
Hey, wait a minute, Harlow. I want to tell you about Alaska. It's the most wonderful...
Wait a minute. Have you told anybody else about it?
No, he hasn't, Mr. Wilcox.
Why?
Then don't tell me. You know I can't keep a secret.
Ask for myself. Hey, Molly, there's a good place for that bearskin. Right on the floor there in front of the fireplace.
Never.
Huh?
I'm not going to go around doing my housework with that thing showing its big, beautiful white teeth at me like Cesar Romero, and I wish it was.
I think I'll put it on the floor in front of my bed. Then on cold winter mornings...
look, McGee, never mind the bearskin now. You've got to help me take down the curtains. They're going to the cleaners.
Oh, let's do that tomorrow.
I never saw such a man. You either work like fury for a few minutes or you sit down doing nothing.
I know. I'm a member of the sweater set.
What's that?
Yeah. I either sweat or set. Don't you get it, Molly? I says I'm a member of the sweater set.
It ain't funny, McGee.
Well, so what? You might have gone along with me on our first show.
Well, everybody seems to know we're home again.
Yes, the Johnson Wax Company asked me not to keep it confidential. Come in.
Well, hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, little chum. Gildersleeve.
Why, it's nice to see you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Won't you have a chair and a cup of tea?
No, thank you, Mrs. McGee. I can't stay but a moment. I just dropped in to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Where are you going?
I'm not going. I've gone. I've moved to Summerfield. I'm managing the estate of my niece and nephew.
Whoa, well, what you going to do with your house here, Gildy? Sell it or rent it?
Sell it. Would you care to buy it as an investment?
Me? Why, I wouldn't give you a nickel for that rat-ridden rabbit hutch, Throcky.
Oh!
Remember when that house had an iron deer out on the front lawn, Molly?
Yes. Whatever happened to it?
He looked around one day and took a look at that house and ran away.
Now, look here, McGee. I've taken plenty from you in my day, but by George... Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter?
I must remember to buy George, my caretaker, a little gift. He's been taking care of my house this summer. Did you meet him?
No, we were up in Alaska, Throcky. There's a wonderful place. I shot one of the biggest bears in
Yes, and how did you like it, Mrs. McGee?
Oh, I had a wonderful time, Mr. Gildersleeve.
The way I happened to shoot him was, I was walking around the bend to catch Can Creek when all of a sudden...
What time is it?
It was early in the morning. Just as the first rays of the Arctic sun were glinting on the ice...
I mean, what time is it now?
3:30, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, dear. Just got time to catch my train. But I just couldn't go without coming in to say goodbye to you, Mrs. McGee. And Fibber, my little chum.
You mean we ain't going to see you anymore, Gildy?
Chin up, little pal. That's life, you know. After all, we're just ships that pass in the night. I hope you miss me as much as I'm going to miss you.
Well, ships that pass in the night had better miss each other.
Gildy, old man, I hardly know what to say.
Well, let's just say this isn't goodbye. It's au revoir.
Oh, I can't say that, Gildy.
Why not?
I can't pronounce it. Let's just say goodbye. Goodbye.
Yes, goodbye. Oh, another thing. My lawnmower.
What about your lawnmower?
McGee never returned it, and I'm going to need it in Summerfield.
Now, wait a minute, Gildersleeve. You know very well that ain't your own lawnmower.
It is, too. You borrowed it.
It was mine, and you borrowed it.
That broken down clover clipper has changed hands oftener than the World's Wrestling Championship. Can either of you prove ownership?
Yes.
How?
It's got my initials carved on the underside of the handle.
Well, if it has, it's yours, Mr. Gildersleeve. Go get it, McGee.
I will not. If he wants it, let him go get it himself.
All right, I will. Where is it?
It's right in there.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. By George, Oh, my goodness! McGee, aren't you ever going to straighten out that closet?
And here, back from their summer vacation, no bigger but better than ever, your favorites and ours, the King's Men, singing Little Liza Jane.
I got a gal and you got none, little Liza Jane. I got a gal and you got none, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Come, my love, and marry me, my little Liza Jane. How happy we will be, my little Liza Jane. I'll go buy a wedding ring, my little Liza Jane. We'll be married in the spring, my little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Then one day in the middle of May, little Liza Jane, away she ran with a traveling man who stole my Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, when I heard the news, oh, little Liza, I got the blues. Liza, come back, my Liza, come back, my Jane. Liza, little Liza Jane. Come back, my
awful bad. I jumped aboard a train. Made up my mind I'd try to find my little Liza Jane. Away down south in Tennessee, I got off the train. Who was waiting there for me but little Liza Jane? Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Took my honey by the hand, got back on the train. Stole her from that traveling man, sweet, sweet Liza. Now we live in Baltimore, me and Liza Jane. Lots of children round the door, just like Liza. Liza Jane. Liza, how I love my Liza Jane.
Hey, Molly, must have been a bad storm in Whistle Vista while we were gone.
What makes you think so?
You know that ship in the bottle on the mantel?
Yes.
Well, 2 lifeboats are missing. Hardly
Come
ever see
in.
it. Well, if it ain't old Wallace Wimple. Hi, Wally, old man.
Hello, folks.
Come right in, Mr. Wimple. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you, Mrs. McGee. I hope you had just a peachy vacation.
Oh, we did, Wimple, we did. Swell trip. Went up to Alaska.
Isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to persuade my wife to take a trip up there, too.
Oh, you'd simply love it, Mr. Wimple.
I know I would, Mrs. McGee, but she won't go unless I go along. I simply can't leave my business.
What is your business, Wimple?
I'm a poet.
Oh, a poet, eh? Well, you ought to grow a beard, Wimple. Poets are more impressive with beards.
I did once, but the people who buy my poetry didn't like it.
Oh, to whom do you sell your poetry to?
Burma shave.
Incidentally, how is your wife, Wimple? Same as ever?
Oh, yes. She had a wonderful time listening to the Lewis Nova fight on the radio last night.
Oh, how did you like it?
I didn't hear it. I was doing the dishes.
Wimple, what you need is a few weeks in Alaska. Make a man of you. Go up there and hunt and fish and rough it. Then come back and assert yourself.
That sounds like a wonderful idea, Mr. McGee.
Betcha.
But do I have to come back?
Why, of course not.
Maybe you wouldn't want it. Boy, if you ever saw the first rays of the sun glinting on the icy waters of Ketchikan Creek.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's my wife honking for me. Coming, dear. Goodbye now.
So long, Wally.
Poor Mr. Wimple. Say, what's his wife like, McGee?
Well, roughly like the backfield of the Green Bay Packers. I hate to say that, loving football the way I do. Oh, well, look who's here, Molly.
Hi, mister.
Well.
When'd you get back? When'd you?
Oh, just a little while ago, sis. My, you've grown, haven't you? Your vacation must have agreed with you. How old are you now? I says, how old are you?
I bet you can't guess, I bet you.
7?
No.
6?
Mm-mm.
5?
No.
8?
No.
Well, you must be more than 4. You're not 9, are you?
No.
Oh, well, then I give up.
You didn't try 5.5.
5.5?
No.
Well, anyway, you're a little young to be getting coy about your age. What you been doing this summer, sis?
Oh, I went to a Girl Scout camp, I bet you. I'm a brownie.
Oh, you are, eh? Well, shake, sis. There's a touch of leprechaun in me, too.
Gee, it was wonderful, mister. I learned first aid and how to give artificial respiration and everything.
You did, eh? I said you did, eh?
Did what?
Learned how to give artificial respiration.
I know it.
Well, if you knew it, you must have had an interesting summer, sis. We had one, too, though. Went up to Alaska.
Did you?
You betcha. Alaska's really marvelous. It's the thrill of a lifetime to be walking along on Ketchikan Creek with the first rays of the Arctic sun glinting on the icy waters and see an Eskimo trotting along behind his dog sled, cracking his whip in the air and hollering, "Mush! Mush! Mush!"
I'm hungry.
Oh, boy. Ever see a kid with an appetite like hers, Molly?
Well, she'll outgrow it. All little girls are like that.
Mm-hmm.
They love menus when they're young, and they love used men when they're old. Now will you help me take down the curtain?
I'll drag him down with my teeth after that. I don't know, Molly. I don't think I will. I don't feel like that. I don't feel good.
What's the matter?
I'm worried about my skin.
Well, take a warm bath and rub a little oil on it.
No. I mean my bare skin.
Oh.
Those guys promised they'd send it to me just...
Come in.
Hello there, kids. How's everything?
Did you have a nice summer, Miss
Sure
Colton?
did, daughter.
Hey, Molly, watch his eyes pop out when he finds out where we've been. You know where we went this summer, old-timer?
No, I don't, Johnny. Personally, I went up to Alaska.
Alaska?
Yep, wonderful country. Shot a bear, too. You shot a bear? Yep, one of the biggest bears ever shot in Alaska.
Oh, sure.
Never mind about me. Where did you kids go?
Well, remind us to lend you a lightning rod when you leave, Mr. Oldtimer.
Why, daughter?
You just stole our thunder.
That's pretty good, daughter. Or it would be if I knew what you meant. That ain't the way I heard it.
Oh, sure.
The way I heard it, one feller says, t'other feller says, "This Joe Louis is a great fighter, all right. He's practically invisible." "You mean invincible," says t'other feller. "I do not," says first feller. "I could see him as plain as I can see you." Well, I gotta be getting along, kids. Remind me sometime, tell you about Alaska. That's a great country.
That does it.
What, McGee?
Sit down, Molly. There's something I want to tell you.
McGee, what is it? Don't look like that. You frighten me.
Sit down, Molly.
But what do you want to tell me, dearie?
I want to tell you about my trip to Alaska.
But I was right there with you, remember?
I know, but I got to tell somebody or I'll bust.
Oh. All right, dearie. Go ahead.
Thanks. Well, sir, if you ever saw the first rays of the Arctic sun glinting on the icy waters of Ketchikan Creek...
Heavenly days up the creek again.
While we're waiting for Fibber and Molly to return, I'd like to have a moment with you to say farewell to September and hello to October. Where the months have gone, don't ask me. But what to do about that car of yours that needs an October beauty treatment? Well, I can certainly answer that one. Make it sparkle and shine with Johnson's Car New, the sensational auto polish that both cleans and wax polishes in one application. Perhaps you'd like to know that during the past season, Car New has enjoyed the greatest sales increase of its history. More and more car owners have discovered how easily, how inexpensively they can clean and wax polish their cars this modern way. Car New saves time, Car New saves money. Where can you buy it? Ask your regular wax dealer, auto supply store, or service station for the one and only Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U.
Ladies and gentlemen, Molly and I and the Johnson Wax people and all of us would like to take this occasion to wish Harold Perry every success with his new Sunday afternoon program, The Great Gildersleeve.
Yes, we'll miss him on Tuesday nights, but we're proud that our association was a stepping stone toward his own show.
And if he learned anything from me about the finer points of acting and timing and characterization...
It'd be a miracle.
Yes. Huh? Good night.
Good night, all.
Marlowe Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night, and reminding you that America's first line of defense is you and your support. So invest to the best of your ability in Defense Savings Bonds. Good night.
Well, here's that man again to suggest to all you careful housekeepers that you try just one bottle of Johnson's Cream Wax, the newest form of wax polish made especially for furniture and woodwork. No oil to collect dust, cleans as it polishes, gives furniture an exquisite wax luster, real wax protection. That's the Cream Wax story. And by the way, dealers are now offering a tube of Johnson's Blem free with the 39-cent bottle of Johnson's Cream Wax. Blem is a marvelous blemish remover that takes off ugly white rings, stains, and scratches from furniture. Get the combination package of Johnson's Cream Wax and Blem for only 39 cents. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with It's High Time. Fibber and Molly will be with us in just a minute. You know, we hear a lot about freedom and democracy these days. It's true that we take a lot of our present liberty for granted. Take this free competitive system of business, for instance. It has turned loose a great deal of inventive intelligence, of which you and I get the benefit in greater everyday comforts and conveniences and more attractive living. For example, the makers of Johnson's Wax didn't stop when they had perfected the original Johnson's Wax, the famous polish that's kept floors beautiful for over 50 years. No, indeed. They went right on developing other useful products. An easy-to-use polish for linoleum floors, Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. Then an amazing auto polish, Car New, that cleans and wax polishes in one application. Then Cream Wax for furniture and woodwork. And just recently, an extraordinary product in the paint field, an enamel that actually has wax mixed right in it and gives a superbly beautiful finish that's easy to clean. The name of this product is Johnson's Wax Enamel, and dealers everywhere are now offering it in 19 stunning colors. Perhaps you'd like to ask your dealer about it. This is the time of year when maple leaves and football forecasters begin to turn yellow. There's a nip in the air in Wistful Vista, and our hero thinks a fire in the fireplace will be pretty dandy. So here, with papers and kindling and matches and a bucket of kerosene and not enough accident insurance, we find that unintentional arsonist and his watchful wife, Fibber McGee and Molly.
There, that ought to do it. Hand me that bucket of kerosene, Molly.
I will not.
Huh?
You've got enough paper and kindling in there to barbecue an elephant. McGee, don't pour that on there. Don't now.
Oh, Molly, don't be such a scaredy cat. Here, watch.
Oh, dear. When you get through starting that fire, McGee, run downtown and get me some dynamite.
Huh?
I want to open a can of sardines for lunch.
What's a few drops of kerosene? Where's the matches? Oh, here they are. I'll have a roaring fire in here in no time at all.
Yes, a roaring fire and a howling insurance adjuster. McGee, for the last time, please don't do
Better
that.
step back a little, Molly. It may flare up a little bit at first.
Oh. Wow! McGee! Look out! Put that screen in front of it.
Don't worry, I got it under control. Hand me my coat. The rug's on fire.
Here, beat it.
Beat it where?
Beat out the fire, foolish.
Should have used safety matches to start it with. And kitchen matches make too big of a flame. There. It's okay, Molly. It's okay.
Yeah. Sure. It's fine. The house full of smoke. The rug all scorched, and you've only got one eyebrow left.
Well, how did I know that?
Oh, dear. Quick, wipe the soot off your face, McGee. You look like an N-man.
You look like a mammy yourself, Mommy. Come in.
Heavenly days, it's Mayor Latrivia. Come in, Your Honor.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
Good day, McGee. How do you do, Mrs. McGee? I just... What goes on? Fumigating?
No, the fireplace backfired, Mr. Mayor. Won't you have a chair?
Thank you, no. Just stopped in on a matter of business. Mr. McGee, you're a public-spirited citizen. I'm sure you would be glad to give the city the benefit of your executive experience.
Why, certainly, Your Honor. What do you want me to do, run for your job next year? Why, shucks, I'll be glad to. All I got to do is profit by the mistakes you've made, and I'll sure
McGee. Let the mayor talk.
Huh? Oh.
Mr. McGee, the office of mayor of Wistful Vista is not under discussion.
Oh, you think not? If you'd hear what people are saying about the way...
McGee. Let the mayor talk.
Okay. Go ahead, Trivial.
To be brief, McGee, one of our officials is making a nationwide survey and will be out of the city for a week or 10 days. His office is too valuable and important to remain vacant during that time. I want you to fill the vacancy pro tem.
Oh, what job is it, Mr. Mayor?
Fire Commissioner.
Well, Bud, you've come to the right man. With my experience in fire prevention...
Pardon me, it's the smoke, I guess.
Very well, then, we'll consider it settled. Here's a badge, and here's your official appointment.
Mr. Mayor, I accept with pleasure. And I must say that for a city like our Wistful Vista, a man like me is none too good for it.
I think so, too.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. I'll inform the city council that the office has been filled pro tem.
What does pro tem mean?
That's a Latin phrase meaning try and keep it. Thank you and good day.
Hot dog. Imagine me, Molly, fire commissioner. The first thing I'm going to do is call a meeting of the Chamber of Commerce this afternoon and give them a talk on fire prevention.
Yes, and if they ask how you scorched your eyebrow, tell them you were cleaning the fireplace and didn't know it was loaded.
Now, let's see. I better have the secretary of the chamber telephone all the members. That's probably for me, Molly. Hello, Fire Commissioner McGee speaking. Who? Oh, hi, Roscoe. Sure, okay, Roscoe. I'm calling a special meeting of the chamber for 2:30 this afternoon. Can you be there, Roscoe? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you betcha, Roscoe. I'll see you there. Okay. I'm glad you called, Roscoe. Hey, Molly.
Yes?
Do I know anybody named Roscoe?
Well, you do now.
Oh, these constituents. Always coming around to ask us city officials for a favor. Come in.
Oh, hello, Mr. DePoplis.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Hello, Cupie. Hello, Fizzer. What is this unfounded roommate I'm hearing about you being annoyed at the pro-temporary fire commissary?
Well, it's true, Mr. DePoplis. He's hot stuff, and he's got a badge to prove it.
Molly, remind me to get you some throat tablets.
What?
You're developing a bad cough.
Oh, Commissioner.
What was you saying, Nick?
What I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted is that in my restaurants we are having quite a fire hazard.
Hazard?
I'll say we has.
What is the fire hazard in your restaurant, Nick?
Well, when we are getting an order for a charcoal grill porter steak house...
No, you mean porterhouse steak.
It's the same thing, only tougher. Every time the cook is charcoal grilling it, the bacon grease in the frying pan is catching itself into a big flame of fire. And all we can do is stand there, hopeless.
Haven't you got a fire extinguisher?
Sure. But every time we squirt it on the frying pan, it is making the steak taste very peculiar.
Well, look, Mr. DePoplis, your restaurant specializes in charcoal grilled steaks and chops, doesn't it?
Oh, certainly. Just like Mother used to make Papa mad by cooking them the same way. Why, Cupie?
Well, it's a little drastic, maybe, but why don't you get yourself a charcoal broiler?
Well, for scream's sake, I never thought of that. Thank you.
Molly, Molly, this is a great day for Wistful Vista.
Is it?
It surely is. Why, when the citizens of this community, this little city of homes and schools and churches, realize that their safety and well-being are now in the hands of Fibber McGee, acting fire commissioner.
Oh, stop acting, fire commissioner. Sing, boys.
The King's Men sing Tapioca.
I used to work upon the levee,
Waiting for the steamer to go down.
sometimes she was loaded mighty heavy, and
Sometimes she would run aground.
what she going to give me for my dinner?
Tater cakes are cooking merrily.
Oh, that's good enough for any sinner, and
That's plenty good enough for me.
tapioca, tapioca.
Mammy, won't you let me pick upon the poker?
Give me tapioca,
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 tapioca.
Oh,
Come on, we'll have a jubilee. Working on the railroad, 20 cents a day. Johnny cockatoon on the banjo. Oh, me and my. Mammy, 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 don't you hear the baby cry? Working on the railroad, never get a pay. Johnny cockatoon on the banjo. Oh, me and my. Mammy, 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 don't you hear the baby cry? See the children rolling in the cotton. Sun pouring down upon their head. Oh, 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 oh. Somebody's gotta make a living. Children gotta have a little bread.
tapioca,
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 tapioca.
Won't you
Mammy, let you pick upon the poker. Tapioca, 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 tapioca. Come on, we'll have a jubilee. Working on the railroad, 20 cents a day. Johnny Puckatoon on your banjo. Oh, me, oh, my, oh, my. Mammy, 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 don't you hear the baby cry? Oh, me, oh, my, oh, my. Oh, mammy, don't you hear the baby
Well, have you got your speech written for the Chamber of Commerce meeting, Commissioner?
Nope, I'll just ad-lib it. I'll start off by saying, ladies and gentlemen of the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, that's a snappy opening. And incidentally, Commissioner, I wish you'd report to the Chief of Police about the cop in this neighborhood. He's growing a beard, and he looks terrible.
I've already spoke to the cop about it.
Well, what'd you say?
I told him to quit bushing around the beat. Imagine that. We almost took that out, too. Hey, that reminds me. I better call the chamber and see how many members they've rounded up. Hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the whistle, Mr. Chamber. Huh? Oh, is that you, Mert?
Oh.
How's every little thing, Mert? It is, eh? What's that, Mert? Your old man. In the hospital? He shot off his what?
Oh, heavenly days, McGee. What happened?
He was in Brooklyn last week and shot off his mouth about the Yankees. What say, Mert? Oh, well, it don't matter. Thanks anyway, Mert. Ah, great gal, Mert. I'll bet she just lives for the few moments she talks to me every week.
You call that living?
Well, never mind. We better get going. A guy in my position owes it to the citizens to be punctual.
Oh, you're punctual, all right, dear. Everything we own, we've bought on time.
I didn't mean that.
Well, congratulations, Fibber, old man. So you're the new fire commissioner.
Isn't it wonderful, Mr. Wilcox?
Oh, shucks, it's nothing that any red-blooded, clean-living American boy couldn't have done.
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity, my boy. You can now serve not only your city, but those people in Racine, Wisconsin, who have done so much for you and me.
Okay, Wilcox. Drag it in, but don't drag it out.
Why, as Fire Commissioner Fibber, you can help prevent fires. And fire is just about the only thing that Johnson's self-polishing glow coat won't protect your linoleum against. Dirt, yes. Dampness, yes. Stains, yes. Scuffs and scratches, yes. But fire, no. So it's you and Johnson's glow coat against destruction, pal. Get in there and fight. And may the best finish first. Johnson! 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 Yay, team!
You know, McGee, that man has been seeing too many football games.
He had me so hopped up I was tempted to drop back for a quick kick. But I restrained myself. Well, come on, Molly. I don't want to be late for that meeting. Get your hat and your stuff in. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, little girl. I'm sorry I ain't got time to talk to you now. I just been made acting fire commissioner, and I'm very busy. What you want?
Will you tell me a story, please? Will you please?
Oh, for the here I am, just appointed fire commissioner with the safety of the whole town in my hands, and you wanted me to tell you a story.
Well, that's always the way, isn't it, mister?
Huh?
The more important a man is, the more time he has for little acts of kindness, huh?
Well, all right. I ever tell you about the time I was captured by the Indians?
In Cleveland?
No. Not the Cleveland Indians. These were Shawnees.
Gee, Chinese Indians. Oh, boy.
I didn't say Chinese. I said Shawnees. Shaw, like in George Bernard.
He's English, I bet you.
Sure he is. He's as English as roast beef.
It's what?
Roast beef.
I
don't care if you are. Now, you want to hear the story or don't you?
No.
Oh, sure you do, sis. It's
No.
very interesting. Well, sir, one day whilst wandering through the mountains, walking very carefully on account of the wild animals, men living in the wild, sis, has got to learn to use their beans.
You say what?
Beans. Oh.
Go ahead, mister. I don't like beans. Well, what happened in the mountains?
I found a little kitten.
Oh.
A little baby mountain lion. And you know what I named the kitten? Caboodle.
Kitten caboodle. Why, mister?
Well, caboodle was an old Shawnee Indian word meaning, look, fellas, I found a mountain lion. Them Indians could sure put a lot of meaning into one little word. Well, sis.
You said that.
Huh? Oh. Well, anyway, sis, years later, I was in the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago, and I happened past the pit where they keep the mountain lions.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, I had a hunch. I leans over the edge of the pit and hollers, "Hey, capoodle, it's Ugtug."
Mm-hmm.
Ugtug. That's a Shawnee word meaning white man found mountain lion.
Oh.
Well, sir, the minute that lion heard my voice, he comes bounding to the edge of the pit, sticks out his paw, and rips my shirt right off.
Oh.
Darn near killed me. It wasn't capoodle at all. Wasn't that an amazing story?
Mister, the Shawnees haven't got anything on us, I bet you. We're saying a lot in one little word.
What you mean, sis?
Phooey.
Gratitude for you. Next time I tell her a story, I'll keep it to myself.
Now listen, Ugtug. We'd better scram out of the teepee for powwow down at the big lodge.
Oh, my gosh, almost time for the meeting. Well, come on, let's get going.
Martha Tilton singing Easy Street.
Easy Street, I'd love to live on Easy Street. Nobody works on Easy Street. Just sit around all day. Just sit and play the horses. Life is sweet for folks who live on Easy Street. No weekly payments you must need. That makes your hair turn gray. When opportunity comes knocking, you just keep on with your rockin', 'cause you know your fortune's made. And if the sun makes you perspire, there's a man that you can hire to plant trees so you can have shade on easy street. I'm telling everyone I meet, if I could live on easy street, I wouldn't want no job today, so please go away. Opportunity comes knocking, you just keep on with your rockin', 'cause you know your fortune's made. And if the sun makes you perspire, there's a man that you can hire to plant trees so you can have shade on easy street. I'm telling everyone I meet, if I could live on easy street, I wouldn't want no job today. So please go away.
And so, ladies and gentlemen of the Chamber of Commerce, as acting fire commissioner, I want to say that as long as we're all in the same boat, walking along life's pathway together, let us all put our shoulders to the grindstone and with colors flying, gird up our lions and kiwanuses and make Wistful Vista a better, safer place to live in which to live in.
May I ask a question, Commissioner?
Of course, Bud. All us public servants welcome comments from the people. What's the question?
Is there any penalty for turning in a false alarm?
There certainly is.
Then I guess you're safe for a while.
Quiet, please. Quiet. Order. And if the chameleon who just spoke will come to our next fire, we'll be glad to let him mingle with the rest of the silly ashes.
Yoo-hoo, McGee.
The lady will please address the chair as you-hoo commissioner. You have the floor, madam.
Well, I've been talking to Mr. Mills sitting next to me here, and he has a complaint to make.
He has, eh? Billy, do you mean to sit there with no sleeves in your vest and criticize this fire department? Yes, I do, Skimp. State your case. Well, last week I was knocking off some hot licks on my piano, and it caught on fire. Yes? That was about 3 p.m. Your fire department didn't show up until 6:30. Did you call them right away? Oh, do you have to call them? Oh, just to show you how wrong Mr. Mills is and how quick our boys do get on the job, I'm going to try an experiment. We're going to turn in an alarm right now and see how long it takes them to get here.
Fine, McGee.
Mrs. Commissioner McGee, will you please step to the telephone and call the fire department?
Certainly. Pardon me, please. Thank you. Hello, operator. Give me the Wistful Vista Fire Department. Oh, is that you, Myrtle?
No. Never mind that. Yeah, get the fire department.
Give me the fire department, Myrtle, quick. Hello, fire department. I want to... What? No, this is not the pot of gold. I'm calling from the Chamber of Commerce. It's on fire. Hurry.
Thank you, Mrs. McGee. And now, if you'll all keep an eye on your watches, we'll see just how long it takes our brave fire laddies...
Mr. Commissioner, may I say a few words while we're waiting?
Why, certainly. The chair recognizes Mrs. Uppington, in spite of that funny-looking hat. Mrs. Uppington?
Commissioner McGee and fellow members of the Wistful Vista Chamber of Commerce...
Oh, make it snappy, Abigail. Technically, we're on fire.
Very well. I merely wish to protest against the unseemly, nerve-wracking sounds emitted by our fire department on its way to a conflagration. Such bells and sirens, it's ridiculous. Can't we install some melodious chimes, such as are heard on the Good Humor truck?
Order, please, order. I'm sorry, Mrs. Uppington. If our firefighting methods are too dad-added raucous for your delicate nerves, I'll have them take off the sirens and put on a fireman with a flute playing I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire.
Thank you.
And while we're at it, we'll have the police throw away their revolvers and carry water pistols. Does that satisfy you, Uppy?
Certainly, Mr. McGee.
Well...
If a little squirt can run the fire department, it ought to work with the police.
Order, please, order. Ladies and gentlemen, in the few seconds we have left, I think it would be fitting to hear from Wistful Vista's poet laureate, Mr. Wallace Wimple. He's composed a little verse in honor of this occasion. Mr. Wimple.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner and friends. I have called this little poem The Fire in the Creamery. Our smoke gets in your eyes, cream. And it goes. When your restaurant burned down, I had to write this little sonnet in hopes my tablecloth was saved, 'cause I figured my income tax upon it.
Oh, that's wonderful, Mr. Wimple.
Was it?
Yes. That's wonderful.
Well, it's nothing, Mrs. McGee, really. As long as this meeting is concerned with our fire department, I would like to pay tribute to the woman who risked everything she had to test their life-saving equipment, Mrs. Wimple, my wife.
Oh, what'd she do, Wimple?
Well, when our fire company first got their landing nets, they stood on the sidewalk, and my wife stood in the window 10 stories overhead.
Oh, really?
And then at a signal, the long, fearful drop to the net. Time after time. What if she did keep missing the net? She would not give up. She persisted until the fireman finally told her to stop. The net was a success. That's why I say...
But, Mr. Wimple, wasn't she hurt falling 10 stories time after time?
Oh, she didn't fall. She kept throwing me out.
Order, please. Order. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hey, quiet, everybody. Listen.
They went right on past.
They're probably swinging around and back where the fire escapes are. They... Uh-oh. Listen.
Why, I could put out this fire with a handful of water just before those guys get here.
Pipe down, Bud. There's a wiseacre that needs plowing under. There must be some reason for all this. Wait here, everybody, and I'll be right back with the explanation. Come on, Molly, let's run out and see what's wrong.
Oh, look, McGee. Here they come again.
Here comes the fire chief. Hey, Chief.
Yeah, one side there, Commissioner. There's a fire in here.
Oh, no, there ain't, Bud. This is just a test run. Just checking up.
Say, McGee, where's your manners?
What manners? Oh, excuse me. Molly, meet Chief Conley, one of my firefighting brothers.
Oh, how do you do, I'm sure, brother.
How do you do?
Hey, what took you so long to get here, Chief?
Oh, some dope parked his car in front of the hydrant down at the corner. We had to ram it out of the way.
That's good work, Chief.
Nice going, brother.
And then we notified the police to haul it away.
Great stuff, Chief. Serves him right. Whose car was it?
Yours.
What? You mean...
Well, you see, Commissioner...
That's all, brother. Come on, Ug Tug.
Here's good news for all Fibber and Molly fans. How'd you like to have an autographed picture of Fibber McGee and Molly and their cast? I have one right here, and I wish you could all see it. For a limited time only, you can have one free with your purchase of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Glow Coat, or any Johnson's Wax polish in pint, pound, or larger sizes. Now, your dealer has a very limited supply of these free pictures. You'd better see them right away and avoid disappointment. Even if you already have some Glow Coat or Johnson's Wax on hand, now is a good time to buy an extra package so you and your family can enjoy this interesting autographed picture of Fibber and Molly and their cast. But don't put it off too long. Your dealer's supply of these pictures is really limited.
Remember, this unique photograph is yours free with your purchase of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, or any Johnson's Wax polish in pint, pound, or larger size.
Well, they're a pretty cooperative bunch down there at City Hall, Molly. I'll give them credit for that.
How cooperative?
They accepted my resignation as fire commissioner without a murmur.
Well, that's nice, dearie. I always... Oh, say, McGee.
Huh?
Your vest is all ripped down the front. How'd you do that?
Oh, must have done that when I took off my badge.
You took it off?
Well, all right, they took it off. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
It's fun to drive a new car, isn't it? And almost as much fun driving your car when it's been waxed, polished, and looks like new. Then why not wax polish your car right away with Johnson's Car New, the sensational new auto polish that saves time and money. Why? Because Car New both cleans and wax polishes in one application. Does two jobs at once. Get your car ready now for the bad weather coming. And ask your dealer for Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. One thing they certainly teach a boy in the Army, to be neat and tidy. There's nothing like a stretch of kitchen police for giving a man respect for little things like keeping shoes shined, buttons sewed on, guns spotless and gleaming. Which reminds me that S.C. Johnson & Son are making for the armed forces millions of cans of a product for keeping those rifles clean called Rifle Bore Cleaner. I forget just how many, but it's an impressive figure. And it's just one of a number of war products made by the makers of Johnson's Wax. Special finishes of all kinds that go directly or indirectly into war production. Many of these are for the protection of metal or rubber or wood surfaces in the same way that millions of homes use regular Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat for the protection of floors, furniture, woodwork, and linoleum. They say that in the spring, a young man's fancy. But while this is spring, the squire of 79 Wistful Vista is not as young as he was and consequently doesn't feel so fancy. In fact, he feels awful. So hold your diagnoses for the next half hour and get a load of Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, what's the matter with you today? You've been grumping around here like a centipede with bunions.
I don't know. I just don't feel good. I think I'm coming down with something.
Yes, and I know what you're coming down with, too.
You do?
Yes, you're coming down with the rug out of the upstairs hall and beat it out in the backyard.
No, I'm not. I'm too sick for that stuff. No kidding. I got no pep today. I'm not good for anything.
Ah, go on. You've just got an acute attack of honesty, dearie.
Huh?
What are your symptoms, if any?
I'll give them to you alphabetically. A, I'm all wore out. B, I'm butched. C, I got chills. D, I'm dead. E, I got no energy. And F, I need a physician.
Have you got a headache?
No, I haven't. The worst thing I got is no pep. I've got no energy. I just want to sit down and rest all the time. What's the matter with me, anyway?
Oh, I think it's just temporary. You've only felt that way for 25 years. It'll go away.
I think I ought to have a doctor.
Nonsense. Go out and take a walk or take a nap in the porch swing or maybe mow the lawn.
Oh, mow the lawn, she says. You trying to kill me? Anyway, I ain't got enough energy to do any work. No sleep, for one thing. Uncle Dennis woke me up last night when he come home from that bakery at 4 a.m.
How do you know he was at the bakery?
He was pie-eyed again.
Now, listen, don't pick on Uncle Dennis. He had a great sorrow once in 1924, and he can't forget it.
You mean the time his wife ran away with a sewing machine salesman?
Yes.
I thought she came back.
That's his sorrow.
I got my own troubles. My legs are so much like rubber, I feel unpatriotic every time I take an extra step. Look, Molly, call Doc Gamble for me.
No, I won't, McGee. Doctors are too busy these days to make unnecessary calls.
It don't have to be a business call. Ask him over for dinner. We're having chicken anyway.
Fibber McGee, if you think I'm going to ask Dr. Gamble over for dinner just so you can wheedle a little free medical advice out of him, what's his number?
Give me the phone. I'll call him myself.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Dr. Gamble in the medical and loans on your signature alone building. I think the number is 8654. Goodness sakes, is that you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? It is, eh? What's say, Mert? Your mother. She beat the rap, eh?
Heavenly days, McGee. What happened?
Her mother bought an evening wrap and had to hurry home before it was delivered. What's say, Mert? Well, I'll call him later. Thanks, Mert. Doctor's out, I guess.
Good. Now, why don't you go out and lie on the porch swing until dinner time, or just take a good rest for yourself, dear?
Oh, I tried that. Those doggone robins make so much noise I couldn't sleep a wink. I'm just a bundle of nerves, I guess. You suppose I got what...
Come in. Well, Abigail Luffington. Hello, darling.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Abby. Don't get too close to me. I think I'm coming down with some topical disease.
You mean tropical, dear?
Yes. Topical means talked about.
Well, then he's right, Abigail. He's talked about nothing else.
Okay. Scoff if you want to. Be right. But when I'm laying there in bed with specialists from all over the world conferring in whispers outside my door, don't think you can square yourself with me by bringing over a jello jar made homie. I mean a home of Joe made jar. A jet of jet. You know what I mean.
He does seem a bit upset, my dear. What do you suppose is the matter with him?
Oh, just spring, I think, Abigail. Everybody gets it. I went around all day yesterday with a dull headache.
Oh, where did you and Mr. McGee go?
Oh, I didn't mean that, Abigail.
Let me tell you my symptoms, Uppy. I got no pep. I got no energy. I want to sleep all the time. Can't hardly keep my eyes open. No ambition. All the time drowsy. My shoes keep falling off.
Ooh, they're not laced up?
Oh. And then, too, my eyes keep watering.
I told you not to smoke those cigars so short.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is, Uppy? Malaria?
Oh, no, Mr. McGee. I don't think so. I think you will always be immune to malaria.
Why, really, Abigail?
Malaria is carried by mosquitoes, my dear. And Mr. McGee is too thick-skinned to tempt a mosquito.
Gee, thanks, Uppy. You're not just saying that because you admire me.
No, Mr. McGee. But I think I know exactly the treatment for you.
Well, what should he do, Abigail? Take sulfur and molasses?
No, but when he gets up in the morning, he should take 20 aspirin tablets.
My gosh, 20 aspirin tablets? How do I take them?
Take them out in the backyard, throw them one by one over the roof, and then run around the house and try to catch them.
Oh, you think the exercise will do him good?
My dear, he'll be a different man. And what a civic improvement that will be. So goodbye.
Molly.
Yes, McGee?
Well, try and get Doc Gamble again, will you? I feel awful.
Oh, all right. What's his number?
8654. I'd call him myself, but I haven't got the strength to hold the receiver.
I know. Mm-hmm. You've worn yourself to a frazzle holding up that Christmas number of Esquire all afternoon.
Well, there's some very interesting stories in it, they say.
Quiet a minute. Hello, operator. Give me Wistful Vista 8654. What? How do you do, Myrtle?
Ask her how's every little thing, Myrtle.
How's every little thing, Myrtle? It is? What's that, Myrtle? Your cousin Myra had the hiccups for 7 weeks.
My gosh, why didn't they do something about it?
Well, they didn't know she had them. She's a riveter. Yes. What, Myrtle? Oh, thank you. She's ringing Dr. Gamble's office now, McGee.
Tell him we're having fried chicken.
The poor lad. I guess he could use a good home cook. Hello? Is Dr. Gamble there? Well, this is Mrs. McGee. Will you tell Doctor that we want him for dinner tonight?
Yeah, he'll look good on a platter with an apple in his mouth.
Yes. You tell him to get here whenever it's convenient. Yes, he knows where it is. Thank you. Well, his office nurse said she thought he'd love it, McGee.
Why, sure he'll love it, particularly fried chicken. Doctors get so they think the only bird in the world is a stork. See, I wish I had some pep. I feel like I'd been drugged through a knothole. I never thought I'd ever feel. Wonder if that's the doctor already. Come in.
Say, he couldn't hear that if he had his stethoscope at the keyhole. Come in.
Hello there, kid.
Oh, hello, Mr. Oldtimer.
Hi.
Understand from Mrs. Uppington that Johnny here's got the pip, daughter. That's why I come over.
Oh, I think it's just a touch of spring, Mr. Oldtimer. He just has a feeling of lassitude.
Yeah, and my longitude ain't so hot either.
Well, I just thought I'd drop over and give you Grandma's recipe for a spring fever, kid.
Doggone it, I haven't got spring... I don't think that's it, Oldtimer. I'm just sick. I got no pep. I got no energy.
What is your grandmother's recipe, Mr. Oldtimer?
Well, sir, daughter, it's been in our family for generations. Handed down from mother to daughter. Daughter to daughter, daughter to son. Son to uncle, uncle to sister, sister to brother, brother to cousin, cousin to aunt, aunt to nephew, and nephew gave it back to Grandma, who was so sick of hearing about the darn thing she tore it up.
Well, I don't want any of your corny old homemade remedies anyway.
Put you back on your feet again, Johnny.
I don't want to get back on my feet.
No, that looks bad, daughter.
What does?
Well, it's kind of a case when the patient don't want to be helped. And he just lets himself go to pot, which I can see that Johnny's doing even with that double-breasted coat on. Why, Johnny, you've got no cause to give up. You're young. I'm twice your age.
Twice my age? You're 9 times my age. Is it true that Captain John Smith beat your time with Pocahontas?
That's a nasty falsehood, Johnny. Just because a fellow gives a gal some chewing tobacco now and then don't mean he's serious. Them Indians talk too much. What I was going to say is I'm twice your age. I'm in better shape than you are.
Well, neither one of you has any shape to brag about.
I can still jump up in the air and crack my heels together 3 times. Look it.
Oh, heavenly days, what a fall. Are you all right, Mr. Oldtimer?
Yes, I guess so, daughter. And, Johnny...
Yeah?
You keep lying down and take it easy, Johnny. We ain't as young as we were, you know. So long, kid.
Well, you feel any better, dearie?
No, I feel worse. I'd smoke a cigar, but I haven't got the strength to puff on it. You know what I bet? I bet I got the colic.
Oh, no, you don't mean the collie. You mean the colic.
I do not. A colic is when your hair won't stay down.
No, that's a colic.
I thought a colic was a big hunk of rock salt they put in the pasture.
Well, maybe it is, but you don't mean collie. Collie is a dog.
That's what I says. I'm dog tired. I got no pep. I got no energy.
Hello, folks. How's everything?
Hello, Mr. Wilcox. Well, McGee doesn't feel very good today.
Why, what's the matter, pal?
I don't know, Junior. I got no pep. I got no energy. My muscles are as flabby as ravioli.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it. I was going on a little trip, and I was hoping you could go with me.
Oh, where are you going, Mr. Wilcox? Your annual pilgrimage to Racine, Wisconsin to lay a wreath of forget-me-nots on the loading platform of the Johnson Wax Company?
No, I'm going back to my old hometown, Omaha, Nebraska.
Ah, good old Omaha.
Yes, sir.
I played there in vaudeville once. Brandeis Theater. Yeah. That was years ago, of course, when I was in good health.
Oh, you and your health. You're a hypochondriac.
So what? You go to your church and I'll go to mine.
What kind of vaudeville act did you have then, dearie?
Lousy. Used to throw a 40-pound cannonball up in the air and catch it on the back of my neck.
Gee, didn't you ever get hurt?
No, but every time I caught the cannonball, it took a quarter of an inch off my height. Would you believe it that I used to be 6 foot 2 inches tall? I had to quit before it made a midget out of me. What you going to do in Omaha, Junior?
Well, I've been asked to sing at a birthday party.
You sing?
Wow. How did you know?
How do you know what?
About WOW.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's whose birthday party it is. Station WOW in Omaha. 20 years old this month.
Wow.
Meaning no disrespect, Mr. Wilcox. I've heard you sing, and that's a long way to go to do it.
Yeah. Ain't far enough.
Well, I know. But that isn't the only reason. There's a Better Homes show there, too, and I'm giving a talk on Johnson's Wax.
Oh.
How it protects and preserves furniture and woodwork and floors and seals the surfaces of so many things against dust and dirt and dampness.
Oh.
How it saves hours of housework because it makes cleaning such an easy job, and how Johnson's Wax is so valuable right now when conservation is the watchword.
Well, I can listen to that stuff all day, Junior, if you'll promise not to sing Smiling Through.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm writing a song about how a Johnson's Waxed home is a clean home on account of how it protects against germ-laden dust and dirt.
Oh.
I'm calling the song, Beat Me Daddy, 8 to the Bar, if you don't think my housework is up to par. How do you like it?
Well, confidentially, Junior.
McGee, it does not.
Look, Harlow, there's something fishy about this. Admitting that you're a local boy that made good, Omaha's got better singers than you, and Omaha's got a Johnson Wax representative there that can give a lecture just as good as you can. Now, come clean, kid. What you really going back to Omaha for?
Well, if you must know, I'm going to the Omaha stockyards and see if I can get me a good steak. I'll be thinking of you, pal. See you next week.
Notice the sympathy he gives me on my illness? That guy's got all the tender compassion of a pile driver. Gosh, I'm tired.
Yes, I know, dearie. I've heard you mention it. And I'll have to admit you don't look sick, though.
I don't really?
No, you don't. You merely look like a fellow... Oh, heavenly days, there's the doctor now, and me in a house dress. You entertain him, dearie, while I put my face on.
Okay. Ah, there's a good kid. Pretty worried about me, too. Kidding me to keep up her spirits. Come in, Doctor.
Hi, mister.
Oh, So it's you, is it, sis?
Sure it is, I betcha. Who'd you think?
I was expecting the doctor.
Who's sick, mister?
I am.
Oh, yeah?
Look, sis, if I wasn't a sick man, I'd leap up off of this Davenport and give you a burst of applause with one hand. I'm in no mood to fiddle the paddle with you today.
Gee, mister, don't you like little children?
Yes, I like little children. But there's a time and a place for everything. And it's time you got out of this place.
Okay, mister. But, gee, I was awful lonesome on account of Willie Toops has got the mumps, and I thought maybe you'd tell me a story or something.
Okay. Cut it out. You know I can't stand to see a woman weep. If I tell you a story, will you paddle your little pumps out of here?
Sure, I will, I betcha. Cross my heart and kiss the milkman.
What does that mean, cross your heart and kiss the milkman?
I don't know, mister. My mama's been saying that ever since we ran out of butter a couple weeks ago.
Well, now, let me see. Oh, look, sis, did I ever tell you how the tiger got his stripes?
No, mister.
Well, it's a very, very snappy hunk of folklore, sis. Once upon a time, thousands of years ago, in India, there was a tiger named Joe. A very, very smart tiger, too.
A Princeton tiger, huh?
Well, sir, one day as Joe was walking through the jungle looking for his mate...
And potatoes.
No, not mate and potatoes. That's his mate, Lady Tiger. As Joe was walking along, he passed the village and saw a barber standing outside of a barber shop. A nice, fat barber.
Oh.
So Joe says to himself, he says, ha, breakfast. So he sneaks along on his stomach. All of a sudden, he leaps at the barber.
Oh, boy.
But the barber sees him just in time, and he ducks behind the barber pole. And Joe was going too fast to stop, and gulp, he swallowed the barber pole by mistake. And ever since then, all tigers have wore stripes. They all wear stripes now to remind them not to act so hasty. Was that a good story?
No.
Huh?
In the first place, mister, everybody knows that by natural mutation, the tiger develops stripes for protective coloration to blend imperceptibly with the surroundings of their natural habitat. So don't give me that barber pole malarkey. No. As a frank buck, you're spent. So long, mister.
The Kingsmen sing Oceana Roll.
Back in 1911, vaudeville was in its heaven. Everyone was doing it, doing it, doing it. Everyone was frivolous and gay. Comedians in baggy pants were followed by precision dancers. Then up on the stage at a slightly smaller wage appeared the old quartet, and in a style you can't forget, they open up and sing this way. Billy McCoy was a musical boy on the cruiser Alabama. He was there on that piano like a fish down in the sea. When he rattled off the melody, every sailor boy began to holler, ship ahoy, when Billy cuts loose at sea. You ought to see it. Every worm begins to twist and squirm. The ship begins to dip and does the corkscrew turn. The smoke is rolling black from out the smoky stack. It's floating up to heaven and it won't come back. Here and there you'll see a stool and chair, a slipping round the cabin shouting, I don't care. And then the bell begins to ringing and the hammock starts to swinging. A sitting at that piano there on the Alabama, playing the Oceana Roll. Now when the bell begins to ring, when the hammock begins to swing, you better man the dilly. There goes Billy. Sailor Billy boy is the real McCoy. His ship goes whoop, whoop, whoop with joy. There upon the Alabama, sitting at the old piano, knocking out a raggy rhythm. Everybody's dancing with it, rolling on the mighty ocean with the gay and easy motion. He plays that Oceana Roll. The Oceana Roll.
Hey, Molly, Doc Gamble is here. Open the door, will you? I'm too weak to get up.
All right, McGee. You just lie still and be good to your arteries.
Well, hello, Dr. Gamble. I'm so glad you could come.
Good evening, Mrs. McGee. Mighty nice of you to invite me. Gave me an excuse to avoid a lecture tonight on the evolution of bone structure in the lesser mammals by a man I went to medical school with.
Ah.
All he knows about bones your fox terrier could bury in a flower pot. You're looking very well, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. I'm fine. You know, I haven't had a cold since you painted my throat 2 months ago.
Oh, I'm a wonderful throat painter. In the medical world, I'm known as the Rembrandt of the epiglottis.
Hi, Doc.
Well, I didn't see you there, McGee. You're looking very well, too, my boy.
I am?
He is?
Yes, indeed, the picture of health.
Oh.
And I'm glad to see you relaxing there on the Davenport, McGee.
Huh?
Keep that up and you'll live to be 120.
Huh?
You can't burn the candle at both ends without making a double dip of yourself.
Is there much sickness around now, Doc? Like malaria and stuff?
Oh, nothing extraordinary, McGee. Oh, that reminds me, Mrs. McGee, I might have to leave right after dinner.
Really?
Yes, I'm expecting a baby.
Oh, your first time?
hardly my first. This will be my 1,211. Enough to populate a small village, a small, noisy village. Well, where's this fried chicken, Mrs.
I'll
King?
go out and see how it's coming along, Doctor. McGee, you entertain Dr. Gamble. Excuse me a minute, boys.
Well, Doc, I guess you didn't expect to find me in this condition, did you?
No, sir, I certainly didn't, McGee. Healthiest looking man in town. How do you do it? Just learn to take things easy, huh? Well, that's marvelous. Yes, sir?
Matter of fact, Doc, I've been kind of off my feet.
Good for you, good for you. More people die of overeating than traffic accidents anyway. You're very wise, McGee. Been a lot of graves dug with a knife and fork. I always say...
Would you mind answering the door, Doc? I got no pep. I got no energy.
Well, who wants energy? Just wears you out before your time. Besides, no use leaping around answering doorbells when you can holler. Forget your legs and use your lungs. Come in, come in, come in!
Thanks, Doc.
Hello, Mr. McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee. Oh, excuse me.
Hi, Wimp, old man. Wimp, this is Dr. Gamble. Doc, shake hands with Wallace Wimple.
How do you do, Doctor?
Delighted, Mr. Wimple. Very interesting contusion you have on your lower maxillary. Wife take a poke at you?
Yeah.
McGee, did I hear the doorbell ring? Oh, hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. I won't bother you but just a minute. I only wanted to know if I could borrow your stepladder.
Why, certainly, Mr. Wimple. Get it for him, McGee.
I ain't got the strength, Molly. You can get it, Wimp. It's right on the back porch.
That's the spirit, McGee. Conserve your strength. All muscles are good for anyway, is keep your bones from scratching your skin. Hanging some wallpaper, Mr. Simple?
Simple, Doctor.
Oh, excuse me.
I just wanted the ladder on account of Sweetie Face.
Sweetie Face? Your dog?
Sweetie Face is his wife, Doc.
Oh, excuse me.
What about Sweetie Face, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, we got into a little argument this morning, Mrs. McGee, up in the attic. She was practicing some jiu-jitsu holds on me, and my foot slipped out from under my arm and hit her in the nose.
And then what happened, Wimp, if you can bear the memory of it?
Oh, she made a lunge at me, Mr. McGee. Only I dodged, and she went right through the window. She just caught hold of the windowsill in time, and she'd have fallen 3 floors.
Well, how can a frail little man like you haul her back in, Mr. Waffle?
Wimple.
Oh, excuse me.
And I didn't haul her in. She's still hanging there.
Ever since this morning?
Why, how could she hang on that long, Wimp?
Oh, I fixed that, Mr. McGee. I slammed the window down and pinned her hands to the windowsill.
That's very interesting. Going to use the ladder to get her down, huh?
No, I'm going to climb up on the roof and pull the ladder up after me. Sooner or later, Sweetie Face is going to work loose, and then... Oh, my. Thank you, Mr. Good night, folks.
Brutal little family, isn't it? Well, is that fried chicken nearly ready, Mrs. McGee?
In just a few minutes, Doctor. I just took the biscuits out of the oven. Better go comb your hair, McGee.
Oh, I don't want any dinner, Molly. I got no pep. I got no energy. Maybe you can bring me some stuff on a tray.
Oh, no, I'll do no such a thing, McGee. Come on, get up.
Oh, don't talk like that, my dear. He's very intelligent. He's relaxing.
No, I'm not, Doc.
You're not?
Now, McGee, you...
Well, Doc's interested, aren't you, Doc?
In what?
My case. You see, Doc, I got no pep. I got no energy. Ever since I got up this morning, I've been feeling dopey.
McGee, you're wonderful.
Huh?
You've just diagnosed your own case better than a staff of specialists.
You mean I'm just naturally a doctor?
No, I mean you're just naturally dopey. Well, is that chicken?
April being the month of showers, it's also the month when wet feet come tracking across that kitchen floor of yours. The question is, have you protected the linoleum against that dirt and moisture with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat? If you have, then you can relax when those soggy shoes and wet, muddy rubbers come tramping in. The linoleum is safe, and it won't be much work to make your floor spotless again. Soiled spots are quickly wiped up with a damp cloth. Johnson's glow coat is the easy-to-use floor polish, needs no rubbing or buffing. And in times like these, it renders extra assistance because self-polishing glow coat makes linoleum last 6 to 10 times longer than an unprotected surface.
Better since you had your dinner, McGee?
No, I can't say I do. I should have stayed lying down on the Davenport.
I thought that's where you were. What were you doing?
I've been upstairs. I was reading in What to Do Till the Doctor Comes about my case, but it didn't work.
What didn't work?
Well, it says to take a hot foot bath, but every time I stepped in the tub, the match went out.
Oh, dear.
That's what I say. Good night.
Good night, all.
pictures of the old-timer and Wallace Wimple heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. Makers of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Car New, and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the Kingsmen and Billy Mills Orchestra. Full of rumors these days, but common sense tells us not to accept them as truth nor help spread them, especially when they concern the war. But there are other kinds of rumors about individual companies that often need to be corrected. You may have been told, for instance, that you can't get Johnson's Wax or Johnson's Glow Coat because the company isn't making these products anymore. Well, it is a fact that the makers of Johnson's Wax have been turning out millions of packages of protective finishes for war uses, and they're proud to be doing so. But without interfering with that important job, they're also able to make good quantities of the products you know so well, such as Glow Coat, Cream Wax, Car New, and Johnson's Paste and Liquid Wax. Every dealer gets his share of these products, though not always all that he asks for. He tries to keep you and his other customers supplied with Johnson's Wax polishes of all kinds, because it's so important these days to keep your floors, furniture, woodwork, and leather goods wax protected. You can make your wax supply last longer by using it sparingly. Remember, a little goes a long way. There's a little stranger coming to 79 Wistful Vista. But don't send any silver rattles, because he's probably 6 feet tall with his welding mittens on. Yes, the McGees are about to take in a war worker. And here, cleaning out the spare bedroom and talking on the phone, respectively, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
No, we haven't met him yet, Mrs. Stoops. But Dr. Gamble vouches for him, and the two best judges of human nature are doctors and bird dogs. What, Mrs. Stoops? Oh, no, thank you. I know your dog is very intelligent, but we'll just take Dr. Gamble's word for it. Yes. Well, I've got to go help McGee straighten out the spare room, Mrs. Stoops. He's,
Hey, Molly! Hey, Molly!
See you later, Mrs. Stoops. Goodbye.
Hey, Molly!
What's the matter, McGee?
Ain't it marvelous? Ain't it wonderful? Oh, boy. Hold down the blackout curtains. Go buy a steak. Tear up the ration books. Woohoo!
What's the matter with you, McGee? Stop leaping
Hey,
around.
Molly, look. It's happened. It's happened.
What's happened?
Look at the paper. Look at the paper. Germany surrendered.
Oh, throw that 1918 paper away and stop clowning.
Oh, 1918.
Why, sure.
Oh, yeah. I thought this Stutz Bearcat advertisement looked kind of funny.
Did you get all the junk cleared out of the bedroom?
Yeah, but a lot of it wasn't junk. A lot of it was valuable stuff I want to save.
What'd you do with the moose head?
I did just what she says. I put it in Uncle Dennis's room. But I didn't know what to do with my doorknob collection.
Oh, you used to collect the weirdest things, McGee. Doorknobs, oyster forks, and hubcaps.
Yeah. I knew a guy once, Fred Nittany from Starved Rock, Illinois. He used to collect hairpins and compacts.
Hairpins and compacts?
Yeah. Every time Fred's wife would find a hairpin or a compact in his car, Fred would yell, "Don't throw that away. That's part of my collection." Fred used to pick them up all over the country.
Yeah, Now, look, dearie, when when the new roomer moves in...
Hey, what is his name, anyway?
Well, I don't remember, though. It's a very attractive name. Here, Dr. Gamble wrote it on a piece of paper, so Oh, here it is. Al Darling.
Al Darling. I bet he carries his lunch in a knitting bag. Al, darling. Oh, Mama.
Now, don't leap to conclusions, McGee. He probably shaves 3 times a day.
Oh, by the way, I'm glad you mentioned that. Look what I fixed up for him. Never let it be said that I don't cooperate.
What is it?
My old electric razor. I honed the blades and oiled it and put the gears in different, and it works like a charm. Wait, I'll show you. Where's the wall plug?
In the wall.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Listen to this. Works like a top, don't it?
What?
I says works like a top, don't it?
I can't hear a single word you're saying. What were you saying?
I says it don't work. It's a flop.
Oh. Come on, dearie. If Mr. Darling is coming in at 4 o'clock, we've got to get busy.
Mr. Darling, what a moniker. I'll bet him and I have many the cozy little chit-chat over our crocheting this winter. Swapping recipes for fudge and doing each other's nails.
I warn you, dearie, don't take too much for granted. I'll bet that he... I wonder why Uncle Dennis came home at this hour today.
I don't know, but I hope it was insured.
You hope what? What was insured?
Joe's Tavern. Unless Joe's Tavern burned to the ground, Uncle Dennis would never be home at this hour.
Now, listen, stop it. Uncle Dennis always bends over backwards to be nice to you.
Yeah, if that guy ever bent anything but his elbow, he'd be...
No, you don't. Oh, no, get away from me. Get away. Leave me alone now. Get away, get away.
Uncle Dennis, what's the matter?
Why, you're as white as a bartender's apron.
There's a moose in my room. A moose. I've seen elephants and zebras and snakes, but so help me, this is the end. I'll never touch another drop as long as I live. A moose it was, sticking his head through the wall. Here I come in thinking about nothing at all, and there he is, a moose.
Uncle Dennis. Are you all right now?
Maybe a little drink or something would calm your nerves, Unc.
Well, it might have that, McGee. It might have that. I'm dry as a bone. Dry as a bone. What have we got?
Milk or root beer?
No, thanks. Not thirsty. Well, sir, there I was, coming home from downtown.
Yeah.
Been out all day long trying to pick up a couple of bucks. Mm-hmm. You know how it is.
Yeah, we know. We know you, too, Unc. You couldn't pick up a couple of bucks on a half-broke Mustang.
Now, McGee, you're wrong. Uncle Dennis was worth a great deal of money at one time, weren't you, Uncle Dennis?
Well, right you are, McCoosla. I mind the time when I could write me check for any amount you want to name.
Well, how
Not
about...
too much now.
Well, I was
on
just...
second thought, I don't think I'll write a check at all. I'd like to do a cash business. Like I always say, McGee, fella has the chance to pick up a couple of bucks. That's the way.
Say, Look, Uncle Dennis, we have a new roomer moving in at 4 o'clock. How would you like to help us move some furniture?
Yeah, I can hardly wait to hear the answer to this one. The only time Uncle Dennis lifts a finger is to point at an empty glass.
You wouldn't say that to my face.
I just did say it to your face.
I didn't hear it. Well, now, Molly, darling, I'd be delighted to help you move the stuff. Delighted. And maybe it'd be a chance to pick up a couple of bucks. The thing is ridiculous. I've seen that room, and it's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing, no, sir. Just right the way it is. You leave it just the way it is.
Oh, my. Isn't he the old flatterer?
He's so full of baloney, they ought to put him on Lend-Lease. Hey, you know what I did for the new roomer? I put one of my favorite books in his room.
What book?
Tom Swift and his electric rifle. I always say that a guy gets half his education out of good books and literature and reading. I remember one time...
Never mind, McGee. We got to get busy. Now, look, take the rug out of the spare room and put it on the back porch. There's a better one rolled up on the shelf in the garage.
Oh, I see. Hello, folks. Hey, what's all this talk about you taking in roomers?
Well, it's true, Mr. Wilcox. We had a spare room, and we knew the town is so crowded with war workers, we didn't have the heart not to let somebody have it. Besides, we can use the extra money to buy war bonds.
Yeah, we're getting a guy from an airplane plant, Junior. He'll be handy in case we want to build a wing on the house.
Would you like to see the room we're fixing up, Mr. Wilcox? It's right back here.
Well, if I'd known you were in the market for roomers, my brother Paul is in town now.
No, you don't. We don't want no announcers' brothers living here, Wilcox. Bong, bong, bong. Now leap out of bed, kiddies, and do your exercises. And Uncle Paul will tell you where there's a nice present hidden behind the piano.
Now, McGee, be quiet a minute. This is the room, Mr. Wilcox. We're not finished fixing it up yet, but I think it'll be all right.
All right. It's wonderful. Nice big closet, comfortable-looking bed, easy chair, smoking stand. What's that thing on the closet door?
It's a necktie rack. I made that in manual training when I was in the 8th grade. The reason it's so big is on account of what I started out to make was a bookcase. Broke a end off of it and decided to make a piano bench. Legs weren't even, so I cut it down to a taboret. Then it was a magazine stand and a mailbox and a collar button container and a lamp base. I split it trying to stick a wire through it, so I made a necktie rack. Holds 5 or 6 ties unless you hang them on the part that's glued together.
I tell you, he's a great little handyman, Mr. Wilcox. You just give him a pair of pliers and he can straighten a wire coat hanger in less than a week.
Well, I will say, Molly, that whoever gets this room will have a pleasant place to rest in the arms of Morpheus.
There'll be none of that stuff in this house, Junior. If he wants to entertain...
Oh, be quiet, McGee. Any suggestions, Mr. Wilcox?
Nary a suggestion, Molly. In fact, if I was rooming here, I'd never want to go to work. I'd sit on the edge of the bed all day long and admire that beautiful linoleum floor.
Yes. Folks, if any of you want to sneak out for a quick smoke, here's your chance. Mr. Wilcox just got off the Pony Express from Racine, Wisconsin, ready to deliver a brief lecture on Johnson's Glow Coat. Always underfoot, but never in the way. Ladies and gentlemen, our Mr. Wilcox.
Don't let him kid you, Mr. Wilcox. There is glow coat on this linoleum.
No, I knew that, Molly. Whenever I see a piece of linoleum that sparkles and glistens like that, I know it's been glow-coated. I know linoleum, and I know they haven't made that particular pattern for 16 years. But look at it. No scuffed places, no cracks.
That goes for you, too, McGee. No cracks.
And another thing, Molly. When this fellow comes home from the factory with his heavy, dirty shoes, you know the floor is protected against scratches and grit by Johnson's Glow Coat. Ah, to live in a room with the warm, vibrant charm, the handsome, gleaming, spotless luster of a lovely, lovely piece of glow-coated linoleum. Ah, lucky war worker. Having his life enriched and renewed with the soul-satisfying, heart-warming beauty spread before him from wall to wall. To return home in the gloaming, hungry for another glimpse of the glistening floor. Leaving regretfully in the morning with a happy backward look. Ah, what ecstasy. What rapture. What a talisman against the cares and tribulations.
fanatic.
Never mind what he says, McGee. He's prejudiced.
Prejudice? Why, that guy's been turned down 4 times at the blood bank. All they can get out of him is Gloco.
Look now, the new rumor is due at 4 o'clock, and it's 3 now. Go get that rug out of the garage. No, wait a minute.
Now what? Don't tell me you want me to move that dresser again. It's been shoved around so much now its drawers are drooping.
No, I was just wondering.
Huh?
You'll need an alarm clock in here. Did you ever get the alarm clock put back together?
Sure I did. Works like a charm, too.
Well, what I want to know is, does it work like a clock?
Yes, it does. That is, it does if you keep certain things in mind. Such as the fact that I got the hour hand and the minute hand on wrong, so when the clock says 3:30, it's really 6:15. It's not hard to remember if you don't forget.
Fine. Does the alarm work?
Well, it would if you could wind it. I lost the little gadget off the winding stand, but all you need is a small pair of pliers and...
Go see who's at the door,
Yeah.
dearie. I want to change the pillow slip on the bed.
Oh, don't worry about the pill slip. Tuck the part that says Pullman underneath.
McGee, answer the door.
I'm coming. Nobody ever went to this much trouble for me when I was living in rooming houses. They always put me in a hall closet that looked like the engine room on a Greek cattle boat. If I ever hope to... Oh, hold your horses. I'm coming. That rat to death.
Hi, mister.
Oh, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Sis, you got a gift for barging in here at inconvenient times. You realize that?
Sure.
You do?
Hmm?
I said you do?
Do what?
Realize that?
What?
That you got a gift?
Gee, have I, mister? What is it? What is it? Oh, you're wonderful, mister. I never told anybody this was my birthday. I like you.
Why?
Well, you're always so nice to little children. Always giving them gifts and stuff. What you going to give me, mister? What you going to give me? What you?
Oh, well, well, as a matter of fact, I didn't know what you wanted, sis, so I thought I'd let you buy yourself one. Here's $1. Go get a mama doll. And if you're smart, you'll get one that doesn't want to take in roomers.
Thanks ever so much, mister.
No, forget it, sis. Now, just go away and be happy. Go away and we'll both be happy. I'm busy today now, I'm straight.
Oh, what you doing, mister?
I'm fixing up the spare bedroom. We're taking in a roomer.
Oh. My daddy doesn't believe in rumors, mister. He says it's silly to listen to them.
That's another kind of rumor, sis. That's R-U-M-E-R. Means stop.
Yeah. That's what my daddy meant.
Well, the kind I'm talking about is the kind that you rent a room to.
That's what my daddy meant.
Well, make up your mind. Which kind are you talking about?
Well, both, I betcha.
Huh?
We got a roomer staying at our house, and for 3 weeks he's been telling my daddy he'll pay his rent tomorrow, and that's why my daddy says it's silly to listen to rumors.
Oh, I see.
Hmm?
I said I see. Now run along.
Okay, mister. And gee, thanks ever so much for the $1.
You deserve it, sis. You've been a good kid. Any little girl who has a birthday and doesn't tell anybody is for me. You didn't tell anybody this was your birthday?
No, sir, not a soul. It wouldn't have been nice.
Hmm?
On account of my birthday's in April. Goodbye, mister.
You let me think this was her birthday. She stuck me for $1. Where's my hat? I'll show her she can't. Where's my hat? Kid her age, taking advantage of... Where's my hat? Oh, here it is in the closet. Forgot to put all that stuff out of the spare room in that closet.
The King's Men sing the best of all.
With all those foreign service ribbons on his chest, we had to ask about his travels far and wide. And when we asked about the girls he liked the best, nonchalantly he replied, there was Louise that I squeezed in Tunisia. There was a skirt in dessert he made me fall. There was a miss that I kissed up in Kiska, and a tiger lady in Bengal. I loved a pale little frail in Australia. I loved a classy London lassie on the mall. But wherever I may roam, it's a gal I left back home that I love best of all. In Honolulu, I hoolered with Beulah. Beneath the palms in my arms she couldn't stall. There was a doll of a the South Sea wall. There was Ria in Pantelleria. I loved a lush little Russian fireball. But wherever I may roam, it's the gal I left back home that I love best of all. And there was Nellie, the belle of New Delhi, another maid who obeyed my beck and call. Then there was Bess I caressed in Odessa, made me think of someone in St. Paul. I went insane over Jane in Tasmania. There was a score, maybe more I did enthrall. But I'll never roam again if I can get back home again. To the girl I love the best of all.
The room's all fixed, dearie, and it looks nice if I do say so myself. I shouldn't, but do, because it really does.
Well, I only hope we don't get some mug living here that's thoughtless and inconsiderate. You know, one of those guys that squawks every time somebody borrows a shirt or a razor blade. Hey, what's this guy's name again? Petey Sweetheart or Charlie Cutie Pie?
No, Al Darling.
Oh, yeah, Al Darling.
And a very tough customer, too, McGee.
How do you know? You never saw him.
Well, I didn't have to. Any boy by the name of Darling who got out of grade school alive would have to be tough. Well, you know, I knew a lad.
That must be him now. Stop smiling, Molly, and get a nasty look on your face, if possible. You don't look like a rooming house landlady.
Oh, thanks for the if possible. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee. Just here for a day. I thought I'd drop in.
Well, I'll be high, Latrivia.
We thought it was our new roomer, Mr. Latrivia.
Rumor? Since when have you been taking in rumors, McGee?
Since in about 10 minutes, if he's on time, Latrivia. War worker. Molly's idea.
Yeah. You see, we had a spare room, and I got to thinking about the war workers with children who didn't have a proper place to live, so I thought if we made room for a single man, maybe a family could move in where he was, you see.
Molly, you're a fine woman.
I'm a fine man, too. I hardly argued about it at all.
By the way, Mr. Latrivia, look, do I call you Mr. or what? What does one call a Coast Guardsman?
Well, if it's a good-looking Coast Guardsman like Latrivia and you're a girl, you don't call him. You just whistle like this.
To answer your very sensible question, Mrs. McGee, which preceded the witty, if somewhat hackneyed comment of our parlor comic, one addresses a Coast Guardsman by his name, unless he's an officer.
Well, I tell you, you ought to be an officer, a man with your education.
I'll say. It's a shame. The guy that graduated with the highest honors from Barber College.
I didn't graduate from Barber College.
Well, how far did you get, Mr. Latrivia?
I tell you, I didn't go to Barber College.
Too expensive?
Yes. No! I don't know. I tell you, I never had the slightest intention of going to Barber College. I went to Yale.
They teach barbering at Yale?
Of course not.
Well, then why'd you go there if you wanted to be a barber?
I tell you, I didn't want to be a barber. I had nothing to do with barbers. I shaved myself.
Looks at that haircut, you must cut your own hair, too.
I do not. The Coast Guard barber cuts my hair.
Why, of course, McGee. You've heard of Coast Guard cutters.
Of course, I just didn't...
A Coast Guard cutter is a ship, a fast sea-going vessel.
Well, no wonder your hair is all chopped up. How can anybody give a decent haircut on a speedboat?
Probably run it back and forth.
Please, McGee. Mrs. McGee, listen. A Coast Guard cutter has nothing whatever to do with my haircut. It is merely a vessel used in various patrol services by the Coast Guard. Is that clear?
Why, of course it is. We understand that.
Yeah. The part I don't get clear is, if you're a graduate from a barber college, why you didn't get a commission? It seems to me that a college graduate...
I tell you, I didn't graduate. I didn't go to barber. I never mentioned the idea to you. You started the whole thing when you deliberately inveigled me into this.
What's
McGee.
the matter, chum?
I'm sorry I lost my temper.
Ah, heavenly days. Forget it.
I'll try not to let it happen again.
Don't give it a thought, Patricia.
Thank you. But if it does happen again, you better not be around, because I'll tear the binnacle right out of your bulkhead and blemish your keelson till your bilge is flush with your fiddly. Good night!
What'd he say?
He said, fiddly diddly.
After the war, he ought to open up a barbecue joint. He's always good for a few ribs.
You know, we shouldn't do that, McGee. He's a fine man and a credit to the Coast Guard. Say, our roomer ought to be here any minute now. I wonder if I've forgotten anything in his room.
Well, if you did, and I know rumors, and I ought to because I've been one, he'll remind you.
Let me see now. Extra blankets, flashlight for blackouts, ashtrays, pants hangers. No, I guess not. Oh, this must be him. Come in. Oh, Dr. Gamble. Come in, Doctor.
Thank you, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee.
Hi, Doc, old man. Hey, where's our new roomer you were going to send over?
What do you mean, send? This is a personally conducted introduction. Al will be here in just a minute. Gone back to the car for a handbag. You sure you want to take in a war worker, Mrs. McGee?
Oh, of course we do, Doctor.
We don't. I sure have wasted a day. If I have to do any more shoving furniture around, I'm going to get a shoemaker to put casters on my heels.
Oh, how you suffer, my boy. But just try and remember that it won't hurt you. It'll do you good. Your muscles have less tone than a dime store harmonica.
Well, I hope the room will be satisfactory, Doctor.
Well, of course it will. Anyway, Al's not fussy. Father was an old school chum of mine. I've known the kid all my life. Ah, here we are. Come on in, Al. Mrs. McGee, Mr. McGee, this is Al Darling. Alice, this is Fibber McGee and Molly.
How do you do? Well, how do you do, I'm sure.
Hi, sis, and I'm not so sure.
You're not so sure of what, McGee?
After anything. After this. Oh, Al, darling. Alice, a girl, I never had...
Stop staring, McGee. Now you come right in, Alice, dear, and make yourself perfectly at home. Say, tell me, can you make fudge?
Fudge?
Why, yes, Mrs. McGee, I make very good fudge. Why?
Well, isn't that nice? You know, my husband was saying just a while ago that he hoped to spend many a long winter evening with you swapping recipes for fudge.
I never know such a... Oh, my gosh. I did, too.
You know, when you can make something last twice as long by taking care of it, you usually figure it's well worth the effort, especially in these times. But when it lasts 6 to 10 times longer, that's almost a miracle, isn't it? Well, that's exactly what happens when you protect your linoleum regularly with Johnson's Glow Coat. And what makes the story seem even harder to believe, you actually save yourself work in the bargain. Glow Coat is self-polishing. It needs no rubbing or buffing. You simply apply and let it dry 20 minutes. Glow Coat makes all linoleum surfaces shine with beauty, keeps their colors fresh and bright. If you have any floors of asphalt tile or rubber tile, be sure to protect them also with this easy-to-use, ever more popular Johnson self-polishing Glow Coat.
Say, McGee, look at this article I clipped out of the paper.
No, you read it. I can't see a thing with these glasses on.
Well, you would fit yourself at the 10-cent store. The article says, we hail with delight the return to the air this fall of our favorite radio team. Their delightful humor is so typically American, so happily their own, and so warmly human that we expect them to make radio history in the future as they have in the past.
Yeah, it's swell, ain't it? Remind me to send the guy an autographed picture. And
it goes on to say, we refer, of course, to Amos and Andy, who returned to NBC Friday night. Good luck, boys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Chicago, WMAQ.
The makers of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Car New, and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra.
The Spanish used to burn people they didn't like. In England, they once cut off your ears for stealing a penny. Russia had the whip. But for sheer ingenuity and instruments of torture, American genius wins again. We refer to Income Tax Form 1040. Such as the mailman has just brought to Fibber McGee and Molly.
You don't have to fill out that income tax thing right now, do you, McGee? I thought you had till March 15th.
Have you read this thing? It's going to take till March 15th. Listen. Where the tax liability of an individual for 1942 is discharged and such tax liability is greater than the tax for 1943, the excess of 1942 over the tax 1943 tax liability is added to the 1943 tax liability. You understand that?
No, but I'll bet it's beautiful in the original Egyptian.
I better sit right down. I'll start from the beginning. Now, let me see. For the calendar year 1943 or fiscal year beginning... Hey, what does fiscal mean?
Fiscal?
Fiscal. F-I-S-K-A-L. Fiscal.
Well, I think that's a rascal who goes fishing.
Yeah. Maybe I better just use the calendar year. I know what that is. Now, let's see. Fibber McGee, 79 was for this.
Wait a minute now, dearie.
Huh?
Better make that Mr. and Mrs. Fibber McGee. Isn't this a joint return?
How can it be? We don't own any joints.
No, I mean, aren't we, well, doesn't this return include both of us?
Oh, I don't know.
Look at the instruction sheet.
Oh, my gosh. Look at the instructions. Now I am scared.
Oh, dear.
Boy.
I think we could make out the tax sheet all right, but we're going to need help with the instructions.
This is brutal. If this thing is too tough for me, how about people that aren't as smart as I?
Well, name three.
Well, he's I want to give it to her.
Oh, Alice, darling. Hello, Alice. Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee. Am I intruding?
Oh, not at all, Al. Not at all. I thought you were never going to get here. You're just in time for the main goal, a 10-round bout to a decision. Fiscal McGee, the Peoria Palooka versus Kid Whiskers, the Washington Walloper.
And you'll recognize the loser because he'll have both hands up in the air.
Hey, you made out your income tax yet, Alice?
No, I think the whole thing is silly.
Oh, well, now we're getting someplace.
Yeah.
And I think it's Alcatraz. What's so silly about it, Alice?
Well, jeepers, I made out my income tax last year and called up the post office and told them it was ready, and they never sent anybody after it. Gee, if they don't care, I don't.
Well, if you've had some experience with this stuff, Alice, maybe you can give us a hand. Here, take a look.
Well, in the first place, Mr. McGee, you've got the wrong form.
Oh, no. That's just a little middle-aged spread, Alice. You can't help that.
Oh, no. I mean this tax blank. See the date? It says 1943. This is 1944.
Oh, imagine them sending me last year's tax blank in the mail. Now, that's government efficiency for you. Oh, baby. I'm going to nail the administration to the mast with this. Hand me the phone. I'm going to call the Chicago Tribune.
Now, wait a minute, McGee.
Wait a minute, my clavicle. Give me that phone.
Yes, here, Mr. McGee.
Thanks. On second thought, I'm taking this up direct with the Frances Perkins.
Well, why? She's Secretary of Labor.
Yeah, well, what do you think making out a tax blank is, fun? Hello, operator. Put me through direct to Washington, D.C. And connect me with the White House everything, Mert.
Oh.
Tis, eh?
Oh, dear.
What say, Mert? Well, take care of that, Mert. This may be the last Christmas for a long time. You'll get a bottle of that. Betcha. Just dab a little behind the ears. Put a drop on each eyebrow and a little on the hanky. Betcha. Don't lavish it around.
Oh, what kind did she get, McGee? Coaties?
Teachers. What say, Mert? Okay, I'll call later. Lines to Washington are all tied up.
Well, that blank is correct anyway. You're paying 1943's tax.
Well, I've been looking over this tax form, Mr. McGee, and I don't think they want to be mean about anything. I think they like you.
You do?
What gives you that impression, Alice?
Well, look at all these lines here. On almost every line it says XXXXXXX. I think that's a nice personal touch.
Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to kiss me or just mark the spot. Well, much obliged, Alice. We'll try to struggle along with it.
All right, Mr. McGee. If you have any trouble, you just call me.
Now, let me see. Line 14. Losses from fire, storm, shipwreck. Hey, shipwreck.
Are you referring to me, dearie?
No. But I can make a deduction for shipwreck.
Remember when you dusted last week, you knocked that bottle off the mantel that had my ship in it that I carved, that chip in the bottle?
Yeah?
That thing was worth $200 or $300.
$200 or $300?
Sure.
Heavenly days, give the man a jackknife and a shingle and he thinks he's Henry Kaiser.
No.
Now, look, McGee.
Come in.
Oh, how do you do? Were you looking for... Oh, it's Mr. Von Zell, McGee.
Oh, what? Hi, Harry.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, McGee is just making out his income tax, Mr. Von Zell.
You got any friends or relatives that's a lightning calculator, Von Zell?
Well, my cousin Fitzroy Von Zell was a lightning calculator. He only made one mistake in his life.
What was that?
He calculated that lightning wouldn't strike him if he stood under a tree. All we ever found of him was a left shoe and some bridge work.
Well, what can we do for you, Si?
Oh, well, you remember last week when Wilcox had the flu and I dropped in to say a few words about that thing you have. You know, the product that's made there in Wisconsin, Racine or some place.
Johnson's Wax.
Johnson's, yeah, I never... Well, I was just wondering who I should see about the... Well, I don't want to be considered mercenary, you know, but, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. You mean who pays you and how much?
Oh, now, you make it sound so, well, as if I'd done it for money.
Ah, what a horrible thought.
Yeah. That's pretty sordid. I'll tell you what, Harry. I'll check up on that and let you know.
We'll call Sally as soon as we find out.
Sally?
Yeah, that's that girl you're always talking about. Your secretary, ain't it? Sally Patica?
Oh, no. Well, not exactly, Mr. McGee. She's just a girl that she and I are, well, I guess it's no secret. Well, thanks for checking that matter for me.
Okay, look, hey. Who does pay him for last week?
Well, how about Mr. Wilcox?
I thought he was doing it as a favor to Wilcox. I'll call him and see. What's Wilcox's phone number?
I don't know. Look in the phone book.
Where is the phone
book? In the hall closet.
Okay, I'll call him up. I gotta straighten out that closet one of these. Oh, look what I found. Hey, Molly, you want some jelly beans? Paragraph J, depreciation, depletion, and amortization of emergency facilities. Reasonable allowance for exhaustion, wear and tear. Hey, Molly, they let you deduct a reasonable amount for exhaustion.
Well, that's good. That's very good. You look pretty tired, so take off plenty.
I will. I've been going through this instruction sheet like a monkey through a trapeze. I'll bet the only way I can get to sleep tonight is counting fiduciaries jumping over a debenture.
Say, what is a fiduciary?
Oh, the government just throws in words like that to lend a light touch to the whole thing.
Yeah, but what does fiduciary mean?
It don't mean anything. Just a word out of a song. Remember Rose O'Day? You are my skin and my roosterary. What's a fiduciary rose?
That isn't exactly how I...
Come in.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Mr. Wellington.
How do you do, Mrs. McGee? I trust you will permit me somewhat belatedly, I fear, to wish you a happy new year.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Wellington.
And, McGee, to you also, a happy.
Well, thanks. Since I haven't seen you since Christmas, I hope you had a merry.
Well, it was definitely superb. but I must admit that in matters concerning occasions of the spirit, I am a sentimentalist. I subscribe to the old saying, up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney, good.
You have a wonderful memory for quotations, Mr. Wellington.
Yeah.
Did you specialize in poetry in college?
I took a 4-year course in English lit. For
4 years? You must have had quite a hangover.
What can we do for you, Mr. Wellington? Not that I wish to hurry you, but himself here is anxious to finish making out his income tax.
Yeah, what's on your mind, Siggy?
I just dropped in to admonish you, old man, by request of the Rules Committee of the Alps, of which I am a charter.
Member?
I'm member just like it was yesterday. In fact,
what have I done now? My gosh, my dues are paid. I settled for that billiard cue I busted. And if I fall asleep in the reading room, I don't snore any louder than any of those other old guys.
Those are trivialities, old fellow. Picayune peccadillos. The complaint appears to be somewhat more involved. It seems that you have a habit, when answering the telephone, of marking your place in a magazine with your cigar.
Heavenly days, McGee. You mustn't ever...
Gee whiz, if a man's club is going to be so fussy...
This is an incendiary habit to be deplored, McGee. It has been estimated that your literary arson has cost the club 2 copies of the National Geographic, 1 Police Gazette, 4 Colliers, 2 racing forms, and a suburban directory. I have been instructed to warn you that a continuance of this custom will result in your dismissal from a club in which, up until now, you have been a maid.
Stay?
I'd love to, but it's impossible. Good day.
It's telling me where I can leave my cigar butts and where I can't. Besides, I don't do that. I'm always very careful to put...
I smell something burning. McGee, your income tax form is smoking.
Oh, my gosh. I left my cigar on. Noticed it. Now, let me see. Paragraph 15. What's this? Hello, folks.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Junior. Glad to see you back. How you feel?
Oh, not bad. Say, did a friend of mine drop over here last week? A fellow named Harry Von Zell?
Yes, he did, Mr. Wilcox. A very nice man, though a little indefinite.
Yeah. He was in a while ago today, too, Junior. Wanted to know who paid off for last week.
Who paid off?
Yeah.
Well, he told me he was doing that out of pure friendship.
Oh, he was very friendly. And he didn't want us to think he was doing it simply for money.
Oh, not at all. In fact, I got the impression that he thought no more of a dollar than Hitler thinks of his bomb shelter.
Well, did you think he was worth anything? Did he say anything about Johnson's self-polishing glow coat?
No, I don't think he...
Didn't he tell how glow coat protects and beautifies linoleum and saves so much housework by eliminating old-fashioned floor scrubbing?
No, he didn't do that. To tell the truth, he did more fumbling than a piccolo player with mittens on.
You mean to say that he didn't even mention how glow coat is so easy to apply? That you just pour a little out, spread it around with a long-handled applier, and in 20 minutes it dries to a beautiful protective finish?
Not a word.
No, he didn't say nothing like that there.
God.
All that guy was interested in was Mizuma. Did you notice his coat bulging in and out, Molly? That was his wallet panting.
Maybe we're misjudging the man. Maybe he just...
Well, I'll settle this. If he'd come over here and done a nice commercial job for Racine, I'd have sent him a check myself. But if he didn't know what to say...
Oh, he didn't. That was obvious. He floundered in here like a seal after a herring. We had to give him all the information.
You needn't feel any obligation to him, Mr. Wilcox.
Obligation? Why, I
and
never...
that ain't all, Junior. You better watch yourself.
Huh? Why?
Well, confidentially, after Von Zell left here, I saw him out on the porch and he was whistling and singing. Like this. Rinse so white, happy little wash day song. Like he was practicing up, see?
Oh, he was he? Why, that's why...
Oh, you shouldn't have told him, McGee.
Well, doggone it, I won't have a friend of mine exploded while he's flat on his back in bed with the flu.
You don't mean exploded, you mean exploited.
I do not. Exploited means... Oh, thank goodness. I didn't know what exploited meant. Come in.
Oh. Hello, Mr. Von Zell.
Hi, Harry.
Say, did I see him coming out of here just now?
Yes, you did, Mr. Von Zell, and I think he was looking for you.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Did he say anything about, not that I'd probably take anything, even if he did offer me $10 or $15. I usually get 25, you know, but he didn't mention...
I thought you were filling in for Junior just out of friendship, Von Zell.
Oh, I was. I had no idea of cashing in on the idea. It was merely to help a friend, fellas. But if they'd hired an announcer, he would have been... They would have... if he had... Which way did Harlow go?
He went that way.
Oh, thank you.
Well, looks like the end of a beautiful $10 or $15 friendship.
Yeah, well, don't worry me any. I got my own troubles. Now, let me see. Amounts received and excluded from gross income in this and prior years equals the aggregate premiums. Hey, did I get any premiums this year, Mom?
Yes, you did. I think that squirt gun you got with the 27 cigarette coupons, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's the only one I can remember. Now, let's see.
Now, listen, you call me if I can help any, McGee. I got to start supper, and don't do any figuring till I come back. You always get the decimal in the wrong place, you know.
There goes a good kid. Here I am up to my clavicle in non-deductible crevatines on the mortar stand, and she acts like it'll all come out even. What a woman. She'll be... Uh-oh. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Hi, sis. Now, look, would you mind returning at some future date? Say right after the birth of your fourth grandchild? I'm very busy. I'm making out my income.
Well, gee, mister, can't you even let a little child stay long enough to get warm? Can't you?
Oh, I suppose so, but why don't you go home? Where have you been?
I've been down to the Bontown department store, mister, and I'm going to tell a Better Business Bureau on them, too. I bet you they cheated.
Huh? They did? How?
They had an advertisement in the paper, and it was wrong.
Oh, it was, eh?
Yes,
I said it was, eh?
What's that?
It was wrong.
Gee, did you try to get one, too?
No. One what? What are you talking about?
The monsters.
The what?
The monsters. They didn't even have any.
They didn't have... No, wait a minute.
Okay.
What's this about monsters?
Well, gee, mister, when a store advertises that they're having a monster clearance sale and a woman goes down to get one on account of she's always wanted a monster for her very own.
Oh.
And they don't even have any, I bet you. It's just a dip, I bet you.
I could probably...
Sure?
Probably clear this up by a simple little explanation, but maybe you'll save yourself a lot of bruises and money by staying away from clearance sales. Now, scram, will you, sis? I'm awfully busy on my income tax.
Okay, mister, but you better get to work on it, I guess. My daddy says you're kind of ignorant about income.
What do you mean I'm ignorant about income?
Well, I don't know, but lots and lots of times I've heard him tell Mama you're a kind of an income poop. Go on.
Without jive, but he was nimble in his heyday. When that sister grabbed his ball, Grandpa shouted, "Go-see-do!" Lost my partner, skip-a-loo. Lost my partner, skip-a-loo. Lost my partner, skip-a-loo. Skip-a-loo, my darling. I'll get another one for you. I'll get another one for you. I'll get another one for you. Skip-a-loo, my darling. Oh, skip-a-loo, ha-ha. Skip-a-loo, hey, hey. Skip-a-loo, skip-a-loo, my darling. Oh, Gray Mare has lost her shoe. Oh, Gray Mare has lost her shoe. Oh, Gray Mare has lost her shoe. Skip-a-loo, my darling. Fly in the sugar bowl. Fly in the sugar bowl. Fly in the sugar bowl. Skip-a-loo, my darling. Cows in the corn, hear them move. Rats in the barn, hear them chew. Don't give a darn. How about you? Skip-a-loo, my darling. Oh, skip-a-loo, ah, skip-a-loo. Hey, skip-a-loo, 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 skip-a-loo. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Find your partner, anyone will do. Skip-a-loo, skip-a-loo, skip-a-loo. My old shoe is torn in two. Lost my sock and lost my shoe. Stop with fiddler, I'm off too. Skip-a-loo, skip-a-loo, skip-a-loo. Was a lady, Miss Louise O'Grady was her name. The grandma made her change him. He thought he could retreat and rest his weary feet. But for 50 years, whenever she could arrange it, she made him skip, skip, skip-a-loo, skip, skip, skip-a-loo, skip, skip, skip-a-loo, skip-a-loo, my darling. Diamond rings, quite a few, limousines painted blue, mansions on the avenue, skip-a-loo, my darling. Wouldn't Grandpa really jump for joy if he could only be a carefree boy?
Now, you sure it won't be out of your way to mail this, Alice?
Oh, not a bit, Mr. McGee. I've got to go past the corner anyway, and I'll drop it in the box there. Say, don't you need some stamps on this envelope?
Oh, no. It's official government business.
It is. Creepers, are you something big in the government?
No, but the government is into me something tremendous. Well, much obliged, kid.
Oh, not at all, Mr. McGee. I'm glad to do it because you've been just like a grandfather to me.
You've been just like a grandfather? Why, that was...
Well, did you fill out your income tax blank?
Would you mind repeating that, Mrs. McGee?
I said, did you make out your income tax blank?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Further than that, I signed it, wrote a check for the full amount, and Alice is mailing it down at the corner box.
Well, isn't that wonderful? How much do we owe on it?
Well, I wasn't quite sure, so I made the check out in blank. Government can fill in the right amount.
A blank check in the mail, dearie? Why, of all things.
Come in.
Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. Hello, B1 deficiency.
Hello, you gaudy hero of the Grave Diggers Union. Hero, sawed off any left legs by mistake today, Doc?
Why, McGee, what a terrible way to talk to the doctor.
Oh, it's his defense mechanism, dear. Needs oiling.
Yeah. He's no doctor. He's a Zulu medicine man in whiteface. He thinks a microbe is an Irish kimono. Well, what do you want, Dr. Jekyll? Want to hide?
That's very, very smart talk from a man who runs moaning to the doctor every time he gets the hiccups.
If you mean like day before yesterday, Doctor, that really was serious. You know, he hiccuped for 6 hours.
Yeah, you ever try to shave with the hiccups, Doc? When I got through, I'd taken more cuts than a roadshow chorus girl.
I read of a man once who lost 62 pounds with the hiccups, Doctor.
Well, off McGee, 60 pounds would look good.
Yeah.
What have you been doing around here, McGee? Laying a paper trail so you can find your way back to the Davenport?
Making out my income tax, Doc. Oh. And I don't mind telling you it's a great relief to have it made out, signed, and in the mail by the 11th of January like this. Always before this.
Oh, I wonder who that could be. Come in.
Oh. Hi, Von Zell.
Hey, you know Dr. Gamble, Mr. Von Zell. Mr. Harry Von Zell, whom you probably heard on the Eddie Cantor program Wednesday night.
Now, how do you do, Doctor? Are you a DDS or an MD?
I am an MD, a BPOE, one time in the AEF of the USA where I did KP. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, don't rush away, Doc. Don't rush. If Von Zell isn't staying.
Oh.
Are you, Harry?
Well, no. No, Mr. McGee, I just wondered if Harlow was... I missed him, you see. I wondered if he'd said anything to you about that is, if he thought I had been of the slightest value to your sponsor.
Oh, I'm sure he thought you were of the slightest value. Don't you, McGee?
Absolutely. Believe me, Harry, anytime Harlow is looking for a guy that'll give him the slightest value, he'll call on you.
Oh, isn't it nice to have friends like that, Doctor?
The novelty wears off in time.
Well, I'm glad I won't have any embarrassment then in asking Harlow or somebody to make the usual arrangements for a small stipend. You know, a telephone.
I'll get it.
Say, Fibber, if that's a Mrs. Banglesome asking for me, tell her she doesn't have a thing to worry about for another 6 hours.
Hello? Who? Harry Von Zell. Oh, sure, bud. He's right here. That's for you, Harry.
Oh, thank you.
Hello?
Yes? Oh, you did? Huh? Why, no, that hadn't occurred to me at all. Well, if I don't see how it makes you look cheap just because I helped a friend out and only thought it was fair to be... Huh? Well, yes, but I wasn't really hinting, you know. It was my impression that they loved what I did and wanted to make some small gesture, and Well, all right, I'll leave right away. So long.
Hey, who was that?
Eddie Cantor. Sorry I have to run, folks. Nice to meet you, Doctor. Goodbye.
He seems like a pleasant sort of a lad.
Oh, he's very nice, Doctor.
Yeah. What were you saying before the phone rang, Doc?
Oh, I was just wondering if you kept a copy of your income tax.
Oh, no, I don't need one. Alice is mailing it down at the corner and wants the post office to...
Where did you say she's mailing it?
In the box at the corner there. I think even a featherhead like her can be trusted to take a letter half a block to the box on the
Well, that might be if there were a post box on that corner, but there isn't.
What? Why, there is, too. I've seen that box 1,000 times.
McGee, that isn't a mailbox. That's a trash can.
Well, just a... What? A trash can? You mean that dumb bunny would... Oh, my gosh. Where's my hat? Skip the hat. Oh, this is ridiculous. Hey! Alice! Wait a minute. No, not you, Von Zell. Hey! Alice! Hey!
Linoleum is certainly no exception to the rule that dirt is constantly wearing out our household things. And in winter or summer, there's probably more dirt coming into your kitchen than any room in your house. Examine those small particles of dirt under a microscope, and they look like jagged rocks with sharp edges. But if your linoleum surfaces are regularly protected with Johnson self-polishing glow coat, they're safe against that continual wear and tear. They will, in fact, last 6 to 10 times longer than unprotected linoleum. Now, if it were a lot of work to apply glow coat, you might hesitate to use it. But it's really no work at all because it needs no rubbing or buffing. You simply apply Johnson self-polishing glow coat and let it dry. Actually, it saves you many hours of work throughout the year. And as an extra dividend, keeps the linoleum colors bright and sunny, new-looking indefinitely. In these darker days of the year, you appreciate the brightness that a sparkling glow-coated floor gives to your kitchen.
McGee, I made an appointment for you with a tax expert downtown tomorrow.
You did? Oh, okay. What time?
1 o'clock?
You want me to come at 1 o'clock sharp?
No, just as you are.
Huh?
Good night, all.
The character of Mr. Wellington heard on this program was played by Ransom Sherman. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. I'm sure that our listeners in the far south, where snow is an infrequent luxury, will pardon me for a moment while I read you part of a letter that a railway man from Nebraska just sent in. It tells about one very special winter use for Johnson's Wax, and I believe it'll be helpful information for a great many of you. In the wintertime, he writes, I always apply Johnson's Wax to my snow shovel when I shovel snow off my sidewalks. This prevents the snow from sticking to the shovel, and certainly is a big help, especially when the snow is heavy and wet. You may want to tell Fibber and Molly's many admirers about it. Well, as a matter of fact, we do, and now we have. The next time any of you have snow to shovel off your walk, try a little Johnson's Wax on the shovel. It really works. This is just one of over 100 extra labor-saving uses for Johnson's Wax, besides its main use for protecting your floors, furniture, and woodwork. If you've been trying to get 79 Wistful Vista on the phone for the last half hour without success, it's because the Squire has been using it to promote a party. He's still trying as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
Hello? Wilcox resident. Is that you, Junior? It's Fibber McGee speaking. McGee. Yeah. Look, can you and Mrs. W. come over tonight? Molly and I are throwing a wingding. Yeah. Yeah, we're celebrating. Huh? We're celebrating. Oh, didn't you know? Our laundry came back today. Huh? Oh. Okay, Junior. Some other time. Bye.
Can't make it, huh?
No. Looks like everybody we called up is busy tonight. We can't celebrate. And me with 6 clean shirts.
Oh, there must be something we could do. Go out and ring doorbells or break windows, maybe?
Yeah, we got to do something. This is an occasion. I wonder if that laundry gave us special treatment or something. My gosh, they only had it since October.
Well, they always liked you anyway, dearie.
They did? How'd you know?
Oh, they're always keeping some little souvenir like a button off a shirt or the toe out of a sock.
Well, anyway, this is a great day. Let me sit down and hold those shirts on my lap a while. Don't they look beautiful?
Heavenly days, you know, if they continue to give us this kind of service, why, you can send your shirts out 3 or 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. What's the matter, McGee?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just restless. Here we are, the luckiest people in town, taking the fact that our laundry is back like it was an everyday occurrence. My gosh, we ought to be out painting the town red.
Well, hand me a brush, dearie.
Huh? You mean? Well, why not?
Sure.
Come on, let's go. I'll take you out to dinner. Then we'll go to some nightclub and we'll dance till the place closes up. What do you say?
Okay, where'll we go?
You leave that to me, Angel Puss. I'll find a joint. You creep into your minx while I change into my heavy watch chain.
Are we going formal, McGee?
Nah, nobody goes formal these days. You wear your black dress with the polite pearls.
Cultured pearls.
Same thing. Hey, how's my blue serge? Too shiny?
Well, it was. In fact, the tailor told me he had to wear smoked glasses while he pressed the pants. But I brushed it with a wire brush, and it's all right.
Oh, fine.
Say, where'd you say we were going?
Well, there's the Empire Room at Charlie's Chili Bowl.
Oh, no. The dance floor's too crowded there.
Oh.
The waiters have to take your food around the block and in the back door.
Well, how about the General Eisenhower Allied Victory Club?
I never heard of it.
Well, they changed the name. Used to be the old Heidelberg Student Prince Beer Garden.
Oh, yeah. Sweet music and sauerkraut. I remember the time...
Come in.
Good evening, folks. My name's Beulah.
Huh?
Yes, and I wonder, could you direct me to the residence where Mr. and Mrs. Toops live in? I'm a foreigner in this neighborhood.
Oh, well, certainly. The Toopses live in the 3rd house down on this side of the street. Are you their new cook?
Yes, ma'am. If they have good references, I'm here. You see the 3rd house down?
Yeah, that's it, Beulah. You'll see a sign sticking up out of the snow that says, "Keep off the grass." That's the place.
Thank you. If you ever having dinner with the Toopses, maybe I can return the favor.
How?
If I shake my head, don't eat it.
You haven't worked in this neighborhood before, eh?
No, sir, no, sir. I've been working cross town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only reason I left is they treated me just like one of the family. And I stood there as long as I could.
Well, now, if you go to work at Mr. Toops's, we'll probably be seeing you, Beulah.
Yeah, we see quite a bit of them. And their neighbor, Dr. Gamble.
Dr. Gamble?
Uh-huh.
Oh, does he reside in this neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's a fine man, Dr. Gamble. Yeah. He operated on my 3rd husband for Gladstone.
Gladstone's, Beulah?
Yes, he was a red cap at Union Station and 6 Gladstone bags fell on his head.
A suitcase, if I ever heard one.
Excuse me?
I said you should have started suit. He had a case.
He's real amusing, ain't he, man?
Well, there are 2 schools of thought on that, and I've been expelled from both of them.
Well, give our regards to the Toopses, Beulah.
I'm afraid I can't do that, sir.
Oh, why not?
Well, I don't know who you is, if you is, and I'm sure you must be.
Oh, we're Mr. and Mrs. McGee.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
How do you do?
Hello.
Hello. Goodbye.
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 Well, I'm afraid she won't like working for Mrs. Toops, dear.
No?
No, she just keeps them long enough to use up their ration stand.
Well, this ain't celebrating the return of our laundry, Molly. Come on. Let's go out and swing it.
Heavenly days. I haven't been out for so long, I don't know what they're dancing now. Are they still having Charleston contests?
Yeah, but now they call it jitterbugging. Though the big rage is the rumba.
The rumba.
Yeah, that's a variation of an old dance called the happy hound dog.
The rumba is?
What does a hound dog do when he's happy?
He wags.
Exactly. That's the... Well, come on, Molly. Let's get dressed.
All right.
Where's my derby hat? I want to brush it off.
I've wanted to for years. It's in the hall closet.
In here? That's not where I want to. Gotta straighten out that closet one of these days.
Willie Mills and his orchestra play My Heart Stood Still.
ahead there. The Club Flush. It's quite a spot, they tell me. They got a swell boogie-woogie player there.
Oh, boogie-woogie. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't that the kind of piano playing that sounds like rain on the roof with the left hand and somebody playing the flute in the attic with the right hand?
That's it. If we can get a ringside table in here, we can... Okay, doorman, okay. Open up for a couple of cash customers.
Don't be impetuous, mister. There are very few places in this mercenarious world where cash is nil and void, but you have stumbled onto one this night.
Well, what do you mean? Aren't you open for business tonight?
Lady, was I to permit you to peer into the interior of this abattoir, you would recoil in horror. It is so crowded that the trombone player is flat on his back playing vertical.
Well, look, Bud, I ain't exactly innocent in this nightclub stuff. There's always room for one more couple if the proper arrangements are made. How's about a couple of bucks for yourself?
I agree that Juice is not innocent, Doc. Juice is guilty of attempted bribery. I am stationed at this door to separate the heps from the icks. And I cannot betray that trust. Not for no $2. For 10, I could maybe arrange for you to sit with the band and eat off the drum.
Hey, listen, we won't pay $10 to get into any nightclub.
That's outrageous, Bud. I don't mind tipping for services rendered, but by George... Hey, look, will $5 do it?
Sorry, comrade. $5 would put me too high in the brackets come March 15th.
Come on, McGee, let's just find a restaurant and have dinner and then go dance someplace.
Okay, and look, Bud, you can afford to be tough with the customers now, but wait till things ain't quite so prosperous.
Come those times again, Doc. My salary is raised 50%.
Why? Nobody needs a bouncer when they don't have any business.
Not to bounce people out, lady. Come hard times, I can stand out here and bounce people in. Now move on, friends. Ah, yes, Mr. Chilius. Your table is reserved.
Well, we shouldn't have any trouble getting in here, Molly. The Rhinestone Horseshoe holds about 300 people.
Looks pretty expensive, McGee. What's the cover charge?
Only $1.50. I can handle that, maybe. Hey, isn't that Alice standing by the door?
Alice, darling. Why, yes, it is. Hello, Alice. Oh, hello there. Jeepers, are you folks going in this place?
Why not, Alice? Have they run out of tuna fish for their chicken a la king?
We're stepping tonight, Alice. Our laundry came back.
Yeah.
Oh, but my dears, this place is so crowded. I don't know why Bobby Sock ever brought me here.
Who?
Bobby Sock. He's my boyfriend. His real name is Robert Lyle Weaver, but everybody calls him Bobby Sock.
Oh, I see. Where is he now, Alice? Buying his hat back from those female bandits in the check room?
Oh, no. He's settling our dinner check, $33.65. He'll be out in a few hours.
In a few hours? Can't he write a check faster than that?
He isn't writing a check. He's washing dishes.
That's why I stay away from these clip joints. I always wind up with 5 o'clock shadow, tattletale gray hair, and dishwater cahans.
Is the music good in there, Alice?
Well, it's not bad, Mrs. McGee. It's Gordon Gherkin and his 12 pickles. They specialize on reviving old dance tunes.
Oh, that's for me. I like that.
Well, it's a case of have to with Gordon Gherkin, I guess.
Huh?
He's had so many musicians go into the Army, the only ones he can get are old men who just know numbers like, "Oh, you beautiful doll" and stuff. Criminy, those gates really creak.
Well, if this place charges such awful prices for dinner, it's not for us, McGee. We've got better places to put our money, such as it is.
Oh, we can afford it, Molly, just this once.
Oh, let's not kid ourselves. We can't lick war stamps with our tongues in our cheeks. Good night, Alice.
Good night.
So long, Al. Now let's see where... Uh-oh. Hey, taxi! Taxi!
Where are we going, McGee?
I just thought of a swell place. Hey, driver, take us to that Hawaiian place up on 14th Street. The Waikiki Keyhole. Yeah, hurry, and don't spare the horses. Well, thanks, Bud. Here's your fare and 15 cents for yourself. Don't spend it in riotous living.
Well, looks like this place was doing a big business, McGee.
That's a very popular spot. Do you like Hawaiian music?
Oh, I love it. You know, I'd like to live in the islands and swing and sway the live long day in a skirt of hay, hay, hay.
I tell you, there's something about...
Well, hello, folks. Don't tell me you're going night clubbing.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
And what if we are, Junior? We've been downtown before, at night. Nobody has to tie us up when a streetcar goes by. We wear shoes, too. In fact, I even know how to catch a waiter's attention clear across the room.
Well, I've never known how to do that, pal. What's the secret?
Well, you walk over to him and stick a fork in his leg.
Hey, you told me on the phone you couldn't come to our party tonight. How come now we find you out nightclubbing now?
Well, this place does such a terrific business, I have to come at odd hours to talk to the manager. He's an old customer of mine.
Here we go again, folks. Just bear in mind that Wilcox is to Racine, Wisconsin, what McCarthy is to Bergen. Except that Bergen is sometimes surprised at what comes out, and Racine never is. Excuse the digression, Junior.
Sure. But I was just talking to the manager about his kitchen floor.
Say, I wonder what he uses on the linoleum to keep the colors fresh and bright and preserve it against all the wear and tear and protect it against all the stuff that must be spilled on it from day to day.
Why, he uses Johnson's self-polishing glow coat.
No.
My God. Well. It's a small world, isn't it?
You know, the kitchen in this place is immaculate. Every noon before they open up, the kitchen boys pour out some glow coat, spread it around, and in 20 minutes or less, the kitchen floor is a beautiful sight to behold. Gleaming, sparkling, spotless. Restaurant owners like Johnson's glow coat because they don't have to waste time rubbing and buffing it to a high polish.
Oh.
When it dries, it has a high polish.
Well, this is the place we've been looking for, Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah, we both love that soft, restful Hawaiian music. Hey, you think you'd get us a table in here, Junior?
Well, let's open the door and take a look.
All right.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. Well, come on, Molly, let's go.
Well, this place looks a little quieter, McGee. Know anything about it?
No, we'll ask this guy coming out. Hey, Bud, you been in the Pelican Club here?
Yes, why?
Why do they call it the Pelican Club?
When you see the size of your bill, you'll know, madam.
What kind of place is this, Bud?
Horrible.
How's the music?
Raucous.
The food?
Atrocious.
How's the service?
Arrogant.
Crowds?
Maddening.
Prices?
Sheer larceny.
Well, if it's that bad, why do you patronize it?
I have to. I own it. Good night.
Well, frankly, McGee, I'm getting a little worn out. Can't you think of any place we could go and dance?
Look, let's stop at Kramer's drugstore and get a bowl of soup and a sandwich and then go to a nice dance hall. Like, for instance, the Cassidy Hotfoot up on the north side.
Oh, that's a swell idea. After all, a nightclub doesn't...
Well, now, who would I be meeting so far from home than Molly and Fibber, lad? Sure, and you're a sight for sore eyes, which I happen to have because of a slight argument with the head waiter at the Gay Paris.
The Gay Paris?
Hey, we were thinking a little earlier about going there for dinner and dancing, Uncle Dennis. What was your argument about?
Oh, the dirty, underhanded Mahomedan gave me a piece of steak that was stolen off the tread of a General Sherman tank, and I made a joking reference to the same.
Oh, I see.
I says, I don't mind eating the horse, Mansoor, but after this, would you be so good as to remove the harness before not quite cooking it enough? And the battle was on.
Oh, dear. Was it quite a fracas, Uncle Dennis?
Oh, it was a glorious bit of a brawl, Macushla. I led with my right. He countered with a sugar bowl. I crossed with my left. He jabbed with a ketchup bottle. I stuck my thumb in his eye. Still fighting fair. He kicked me under the chin. I slugged him with a passing busboy. He pours hot coffee down my neck. And then, that's when I lost my temper.
Well, nice control up to there. So what happened?
Well, I'm a bit confused from there on, lad, though I dimly remember shaking hands with the Gazoon and congratulating him on putting up a fine defense.
And what did he say?
Not a word, him being unconscious at the time, as far as I could see. Had a table across his face. Oh, you can have a grand time at the Gay Paris. Whoa, tread on the tail of my coat. Whoa, tread.
The King's Men sing Deacon Jones.
Brothers and sisterettes, Deacon Jones sends his deepest regrets. So while the deacon's absent from the meeting tonight, there's something about the deacon that I want to set right.
What's that, brother?
Who is so respected? Deacon Jones. Who is kind and unaffected? Deacon Jones. When a sinner's moaning low, who will share his tale of woe? Hallelujah, hallelujah, Deacon Jones.
Now who's so handsome and good looking?
Deacon Jones.
Well, who
smell a rooster cooking?
Deacon Joe.
Who gets all the chicken breast, leave the giblets for the rest?
Hallelujah, hallelujah, Deacon Joe. Who is loved by all his neighbors and admired?
The deacon.
Who will help you with your labors when you're tired?
The deacon.
Who will help you beat the rug?
Who will find that cider jug?
Hallelujah, hallelujah, Deacon Jones. Who's the first to church on Sunday full of pride?
Why, the deacon.
Who's the last to work on Monday sleepy-eyed?
The deacon.
And the balance of the week.
Who goes fishing down the creek?
Hallelujah, hallelujah, Deacon Jones. Now, brothers and sisters, you all know that everybody has his imperfections. But before we all adjourn and before the deacon return, we will hold the annual election.
Hold everything.
Hold the deacon.
Who takes charge of all the meetings?
Oh, you do, Deacon.
Who extends the hearty greetings?
You always do it, Deacon, when the ballots all are in. Who will count the votes and win? Hallelujah, 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 go Deacon Jones.
Well, I'm getting a little fed up with this whole thing, McGee. Heavenly days, even the restaurants are jammed.
Yeah, I never knew this town had so much nightlife. Maybe we should have made a reservation someplace.
I just made a reservation.
What?
Never to do this again.
Doggone it, there must be some quiet little place that has a sandwich and a cup of coffee.
I'd settle for a cracker and a harmonica at this stage of the game.
Oh, hey, there's Doc Gamble. Maybe he knows a place. Hey, Doc, wait a minute.
Well, hello there, Mrs. McGee.
Hello, Doctor.
Hello, McGee. You're looking very ship-shape.
Oh, you think so, Doc?
Yes, indeed. Particularly from the stern do you have a ship shape.
Oh, yeah? Will anybody ever tell you you look like a sub? Normal?
Now stop it, boy, stop.
Certainly. What are you two doing roaming the streets? Didn't you hear the curfew?
We're celebrating, Doc. It's a big occasion for us.
Sure, our laundry came back today.
Well, congratulations. How did it look?
Ah, beautiful, Doc. Simply beautiful.
Yes. Drop by tomorrow sometime and see it, Doctor.
Yeah.
I'd like to, very much. I sent out some laundry once. But it never...
Oh, I'm sorry, Doc. Something you loved very much, was it?
Yes.
Oh.
4 sulka shirts and some no-sag underwear. It's very lonely without them. Sorry to be so emotional.
Oh, that's all right, Doctor. We know how it is.
Hey, Doc, we're looking for a good place to eat, and then we want to go someplace and dance. You got any ideas?
No, I'm afraid not, McGee. I hate nightclubs myself.
Uh-huh.
I can get the same effect by kneeling down and banging my head on the sidewalk. And besides, I can never get a paper hat that fits me.
Oh, we don't want a nightclub, Doctor. Just a quiet place to eat. We can go dancing afterwards.
Yeah.
I wish I could go with you. I've always wanted to see McGee dance. I imagine it'll look something like a road scraper with a broken governor.
No.
Now, look here, Doctor. All we did was ask you a civil question about where we can get something to eat. But I'm not hungry anymore. I'm fed up with your wisecracks.
Why, you wouldn't know a wisecrack if it was tattooed on your forehead by Joe Miller. Without a lampshade on your head, you're the death of the party.
Oh, listen to him. I wouldn't know a wisecrack, he says. Why, you malpractice.
Say, I just thought where you might go.
Really?
Where, Doc, old man? Tell us.
Now, look, if you want good food and good service
Yeah.
with a minimum of expense,
Yeah.
take the next Oak Street bus and go right on down.
Isn't this good coffee, McGee?
Wonderful. Let's dance one more dance and have another cup. I could use another order of that pastry, too.
Well, it turned out to be a nice evening after all, didn't it?
Yeah.
What time is it?
What do you care what time it is? Come on, let's dance. Or do you want to drink this one out?
I finished my coffee, thanks. Let's go.
Okay. Good floor, isn't it?
Be yourself, dearie.
Who was I being?
Harlow Wilcox. Why, darling, you're dancing beautifully. What was that last tricky little step you did?
That wasn't a step. I was scratching my left leg with my right foot.
You remember how we used to take those moonlight excursions on the Illinois River, McGee?
Yeah. The old city of Peoria. I think that was the steamboat that invented Fulton.
Yep. Used to go clear up to Starved Rock, didn't we?
Ah, good old Starved Rock. Remember Fred Nittany from there? The guy I was in vaudeville with?
Yes, you've told me all about him.
Oh, we had a great little act. We had one gag where I'd dance up to Fred and say, "Do you file your nails?" He'd say, "No, I just throw them away." And he'd hit me on the head with a folded newspaper. Surefire.
I'll bet it was. Does it bother you if I listen while you talk while we dance?
Not a bit. Yes, sir, those were great old days in vaudeville. I wonder whatever become of all those people. There was one act, Burns and Allen, they called themselves.
Say, could that have been Bob Burns and Fred Allen?
No, this was a guy and a girl. Oh, she was cute. He was always kind of barking at her. "Gracie," like that.
Yeah?
Oh, well, they're probably sitting around some broken-down theatrical boarding house. Living on their memory.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. McGee.
Thank you. Shall we go back to our table?
Yeah. Boy, am I glad Doc suggested this place.
So am I.
Yeah.
And you know what would make the evening perfect?
What?
Let's pile the dishes in the sink and wash them in the morning.
That's a deal. It's a deal. You haul them out while I turn off the Victrola. Stop, Al.
Whenever I spend a little time in my own kitchen, and that's quite often, I'll admit, I realize how important linoleum floors really are. When they're bright and sparkling, the kitchen is certainly a much pleasanter place to work in. That in itself is a good enough reason for using Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. And yet that's only a very small part of the Glow Coat story. A more important reason is, of course, the way Glow Coat protects linoleum surfaces against wear and dirt. How it makes linoleum last 6 to 10 times longer. Another is the way Glow Coat saves you work. Because it's self-polishing, it needs no rubbing or buffing. You simply apply and let dry. Glow Coat does the rest. Even on linoleum that's been down for many years, Glow Coat works wonders. And if you're putting down any new linoleum, then be sure that from the very first day it's protected regularly with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat.
McGee, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
McGee, the telephone is ringing.
Who set the clock for this time of night?
That isn't the clock. That's the telephone. Go answer.
Who? Oh, fine. Thanks, Junior. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Wilcox. Said he got a reservation for us at the Chez When if we can pick it up in 15 minutes.
Isn't that nice?
That's wonderful. Good night.
Good night, all.
The character of Uncle Dennis heard on this program was played by Ransom Sherman. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Wax, Johnson's Carnew, and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. When you walk into a store to make a purchase, whether it's Johnson's Wax or soap or shoes, does it occur to you that your dealer renders you a valuable service? And never so valuable as now, when wartime restrictions complicate his operations. He buys a little of this, a little more of that, things he believes you're going to need, and he puts them on his shelf until you come to buy them. He has to have a convenient location, people to wait on you, and maybe delivery service. Now, if that's all he did, you still couldn't get along without him. But he does more. He exercises buying judgment on your behalf. Selects from among the goods offered those that he can recommend to you and stand back of. For your protection, Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, and Johnson's Carnew are sold only through recognized dealers, never by independent door-to-door canvassers. Remember this, if a house-to-house canvasser ever offers you such a product under a Johnson name... What is so rare as this time of year? When city dwellers full of cheer start making for the lakes and woods with tons and tons of sporting goods. With suntan lotion, bathing suits, fly rods, rifles, wading boots, camp stoves, tents and hunting knives, dark glasses, beer, and weary wives. Full of fun and fancy follies and plans like Fibber McGee and Molly.
What I'd really like to do is go into the wildest part of the Rocky Mountains with nothing on me but a blanket and a hunting knife. That's really what I'd like to do. What's so funny?
You.
Huh?
I can picture you prowling around the mountains with a blanket and a knife.
What do you mean?
Why, you can't even peel an apple without losing a few fingers.
And why? Because I'm soft. I've been living too easy. A couple of weeks in the woods and I'd harden up like a boarding house mattress.
Well, somehow a week or two of camping out doesn't have much appeal for me. Let's stay home, McGee, and play rummy and go to a few movies.
No, sir, nothing doing. I want to get away from things.
What things?
Well, things. People, telephones, and mail, and newspapers.
Well, where are we going? Have you decided?
Oh, I think so. Of course, we can't take the train anyplace, and we haven't got a car, so I had to pick a place nearby. Lake Dugans.
Lake Dugans?
Yep.
Why, that's right on the edge of town.
Sure. Take all our stuff out there right on the streetcar. I can run in every morning and get the mail and the newspapers and see if there was any phone calls. Swell swimming there, too.
Yeah, if you can find a place between the rowboats. That's a fine place to get away from people.
Huh?
Why, you can't roast a marshmallow out there without burning a hole in somebody's bathing trunks.
That reminds me, where's my Boy Scout hatchet?
Well, you threw it away.
I did?
Sure, because it cut your wrist when you tried to open a can of tomatoes with it.
Huh?
Remember? I washed your wrist off with boric acid and your mouth out with soap.
Where's my rifle?
Well, it's practically all rusted to pieces.
Rusted? How did it get rusted?
Well, you said it was almost impossible to get cartridges for it now, so I had to have something to stir the washing with.
Oh, my gosh. All my equipment is shot. Why, come in.
How do you do, Mr. McGee? Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Hi, sis. Hi.
Well, how do you do, I'm sure.
I just stopped in to tell you I'm going on my vacation for the next 2 weeks, and to wish you a very pleasant summer.
Well, gee, sis, thanks. Thanks very much. Same to you.
Yeah, we hope you have a nice time, too, dearie.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
It'll be nice to hear your voice again in the fall. Well, good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Who's that?
I don't know. I thought you knew.
I never saw her before in my life. I was going to ask you.
Why, this is terrible. I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, you better find out.
Wait a minute, dearie. What's your name?
Mert.
Oh, thank you. Mert.
Yeah, my gosh. I knew I'd heard that voice someplace. Whom now?
Abigail Uppington, and be nice, McGee. We won't be seeing her all summer.
I wish somebody'd write music to that. Those are the prettiest lyrics.
She doesn't mean to be so uptown. She's just got an inferiority complex.
Inferiority complex, my clavicle. That's the excuse everybody gives for somebody being bad-mannered, high-hat, and generally disagreeable. Why, that old whippet never had a...
Hush. She'll hear you. Come in. For goodness sakes, if it isn't Abigail Uppington.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? I'm Mr. McGee.
Hi, Uppity. Fling the frame on a chair, and I'll tell you how we celebrated Father's Day in this.
And how did we, Mr. McGee?
It was pop, pop, pop all day long. You get it, girls? Father, pop? It's kind of a subtle play on words.
It ain't funny, McGee.
Personally, I thought it rather provocative of mirth. Well, Uppy, what are your plans for the summer? Just to start the conversation because I don't really give a hoot.
McGee. Mind your manners.
Oh, not at all, Mrs. McGee, please. After all, one expects a certain natural rudeness in the virile, masculine, rough diamond, outdoor type of man.
Well, gee, thanks, Uppy. You don't just say
Although in the anemic, undersized pool-room type like you, Mr. McGee, it's just nearly irritating.
Oh, yeah? Why, you triple-chinned, non-flying portrait?
McGee! Stop it this minute. My goodness, you ought to be ashamed. Now, apologize to Abigail.
Okay. I apologize, Uppy. It's my inferiority complex. Makes me nasty.
Oh, these little outbursts don't upset me in the least, Mr. McGee. I merely say to myself, Abigail, I say, why should you be annoyed because some inflated little gutter snipe goes away and leaves his voice running?
But Abigail, listen.
No, these little arguments do not affect my social equilibrium in the slightest degree. That is due to my theatrical training. Oh, yes, in the theater. One is trained not to be overwhelmed by the stress of emotional scenes, and in spite of them, to make a graceful exit. Good day.
Wait, Abigail, don't...
Hey, Uppy, that's the door to the... Wrong exit. Goodbye.
For camping trip. I've been camping out ever since I was a kid. Nothing healthier, too.
Yes, I guess so.
Used to sleep like a log. Matter of fact, up in the Canadian Rockies once, I slept so much like a log, they rolled me into the river, and I was halfway down to the sawmill before I woke up. It was only because of my...
Hello there, kids. Where are you going?
Hello, Mr. Oldtimer.
Going down to the Wistful Vista Sports Shop, Oldtimer. Starting our vacation tomorrow and need some camping equipment.
Oh, that's great stuff, kids. Great stuff. Used to be quite an outdoor man myself. Used to own a ranch in Wyoming.
That's what you says last week. What was your brand?
2 guitars, a fiddle, a banjo, and a jug. One of the fellers...
No.
Huh?
Not band, brand.
Yeah. Didn't you brand your cattle?
Nope. Started to once, but I accidentally sat down onto a hot branding iron.
I see.
What happened to me shouldn't occur to a cow.
Well, if you spend so much time on a ranch, Mr. Oldtimer, how come you're not bow-legged?
Used to be awful bow-legged, daughter.
Oh.
I was so bow-legged I had a terrible time in church for a while. Took me 3 pews to kneel down.
How'd you ever get your gams ironed out?
I took a trip to New York. Got caught in the subway rush. Come out knock-kneed.
Knew you were a Westerner, Mr. Oldtimer. You know, you've got that squinty look around the eyes that comes from gazing across the sunlit desert or trying to find the pork in a can of pork and beans.
That's pretty good, daughter. That ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one feller said to gotta get going. Have a nice summer, kids. See you in the fall.
Hey, what's the rush?
I got a date with Miguel, Johnny. Librarian at the library. She reads to me every afternoon. We're on Black Beauty now, and I'm pretty worried how it comes out. Things the way they are now, I'm scared Black Beauty's going to wind up on a blue plate.
As young as he is when you're as old as he is, McGee.
I hope I never look that old. His face looks like it had wore out 3 bodies. Well, here's the sport shop, Mal. Come on.
Good day, sir. What can I do for you? We're having special today on moose calls. Genuine Brazilian birch bark. They come in 3 tones, plaintive, urgent, and imperative.
No thanks, bud. I don't want one.
But, sir, why, on our last order, we asked for 6 gross. And do you know how many we got? Half a dozen, of which this is the last one. There won't be any more, you know, for the duration.
Oh, how terrible.
Gee, maybe I better take one.
No. We don't want it, McGee. We need a moose call like you need a hole in the head.
In his case, that might be exactly
Pipe down, bud. If my wife says I don't need a moose call, by George, I don't need a moose call, see? I would like to try it once. I never blew a moose call.
Certainly, sir. Go right ahead.
Well, that didn't seem to arouse any particular... Oh, look, McGee, here comes Mr. Wilcox.
Why, this is a wonderful little gadget, Molly. One honk and in comes Wilcox.
Yes, but he's not a moose.
Well, he's an elk, ain't he? That's awful close. Hi, Junior.
Hello, Fibber. Hello, Molly.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox. Say, you're an expert on better homes. Won't you help McGee pick out a pup tent?
Oh, sorry, I can't do it, Molly. I have to be at a war plant in 20 minutes. I just dropped in here to have my tennis racket restrung. Take care of it, will you, Abercrombie?
Certainly, Mr. Wilcox. I'll have our racketeer go right to work on it.
What you all going to a war plant for, Junior?
Well, I've got to give a short talk.
On what? As if we could never guess.
On nutrition.
Well, that's a new way to approach it. On what?
Nutrition.
Oh, now, come, Mr. Wilcox. It's a fine product, we know, but even we who love it so dearly wouldn't eat it.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm going to give a talk on the importance of war workers, yes, and other workers, too, maintaining their health by eating the right kind of bodybuilding food. Primarily butter and milk and cheese products. That's Group 4 of the government's nutrition program.
I see.
Yes, it seems the nutrition experts have divided all food into 7 groups. And to keep in fighting trim, we must have at least one food out of each group every day. Milk is one of the most necessary items in the whole list.
So what if I don't like milk? My gosh, if I get plenty of meat and potatoes...
You see, the milk and cheese group of the nutrition plan contains some of the most vital elements to human health. Milk furnishes about 3/4 of the calcium we need every day to build our bone structure properly. Milk and cheese are full of vitamin A, and without vitamin A, our eyesight is impaired. All grocery stores have lists of the 7 basic food groups posted up, and it's easy to refer to them when you do your shopping. Well, I think I'll close my little talk by saying, vitamins for victory. There's a great day coming, so drink your great day today.
Oh.
You like that?
Oh. No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Then it must be good. I'll use it. See you later, folks.
Goodbye, Mr. Wilcox.
Hasta la wistful vista, Junior.
Is there anything in particular I could show you now, sir?
Not right away, Bud. I want to kind of look around first.
Yeah, we're mostly interested in camping equipment. He wants a pip tent.
Pup tent.
Well, give me the pip. Every time. Oh, look, McGee, here comes Dr. Gamble. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee.
Hi, Doc.
Buying something, or did you just come in to get out of the fresh air?
Start my vacation tomorrow, Doc. Going to go camping.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait to treat you for sunstroke, poison oak, chiggers, water in the ear, spider bites, and fish hooks in the gluteus maximus.
You know, I'm going to make him be more careful this year, Doctor.
Oh, it's no use, my dear. He's the kind who needs a lifeguard when he washes his hair. I think there ought to be a law against vacations. Here we build a man up and keep him in shape to do his daily work for 50 weeks out of the year, and what happens? He takes a vacation. He sleeps outdoors on a damp cot. Exercises like a commando when his greatest effort for the past year has been tearing the band off a cigar. Swallows gallons of muddied lake water.
You're just an old sourpuss, Doc. You think everybody ought to go through life chewing on a thermometer and walking on their hands so they won't get their feet wet?
Well, the doctor just doesn't like to see people make fools of themselves, dearie.
You're quite right, Mrs. McGee. But it's like trying to keep an apple seed from making an apple of itself. Well, I hope you folks enjoy yourselves this summer. Take a good rest, my boy.
Thanks, Doc.
And my boy, don't be like most men on a vacation.
Huh?
Remember, this little woman is your wife. Not a red cap, a washing machine, or a nursemaid. Let her have some fun, too. I'm glad you're getting out of town for a while, McGee.
You think it'll do him good, Doctor?
I doubt it, but it'll give me a new lease on life. Goodbye now.
The King's Men and a little close harmony.
The old songs, the old songs, are good old songs for me. I love to hear those minor chords and good close harmony. Don't make a noise while the old man's sleeping. Run in the barn, get out the boys. And we'll have a little banjo meeting down in the cornfield. Hear that mournful sound. Oh, the darkies am a masses in the cold, cold, cold ground. The cold, cold
Now, this is a very humane rabbit trap, Mr. McGee. Here's how it works. We put a piece of lettuce on the trigger here, cock the spring, then Mr. Rabbit comes along. See? He sniffs the lettuce, takes a bite, and that blank cartridge explodes. Ingenious, isn't it?
Yeah, but that would scare the rabbit away.
Of course. That's why this is the most humane trap made.
I think that's ridiculous, and furthermore, I don't know...
Hello there, McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Why, Mr. Coast Guardsman Latrivia, how nice.
Hi, Latriv. You still on leave?
My leave is up tomorrow, McGee.
Oh. Want to stop coasting and start guarding again, eh?
Yes. As I was saying to one of our petty officers last week.
Now, that isn't a very nice way to talk about your officers, Mr. Latrivia.
I said nothing derogatory, Mrs. McGee. In the Navy, an officer's rank...
If an officer's rank, you should keep quiet about it. Nobody's perfect, Mr. Latrivia. Remember that.
Mrs. McGee, please. I merely made the statement that a superior officer...
You've got an inferiority complex, Latrivia. They just seem to be acting superior because you got no gold braids, see?
I didn't say they acted superior. They're superior officers because the higher the rank...
They higher the rank what? Go on and say it, Latrivia. But remember, enemy ears are all about us. No disloyalty.
Don't accuse me of disloyalty, McGee. I was only trying to tell you that an ordinary seaman...
Don't you dare call our sailor boys ordinary seamen, Mr. Latrivia. sailors are the best seamen there are.
Yeah. Just because you think your officers are petty and act superior, Latrivia, don't you think...
I don't think anything. I mean, I didn't think what I was saying. You twisted everything I've said. Now, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
I said that one of our petty officers...
Now, Latrivia, I warn you. If you persist in that attitude, I'll be forced to report you.
Yes. And you'll be thrown in the grog for 90 days, and how do you like that?
It isn't a grog, it's a brig. Grog is an old Navy term meaning rum.
Yeah, well, what's so rum about a term in one of our grogs?
I tell you, it isn't a brig. A grog. A brig is a brig. No, that's grog. In a Navy grib, a brig, dog, a grog.
Hey, have you been drinking, Mr. Latrivia?
I don't drink, and you both know it. But before I go, I'd like to straighten you out.
Don't you threaten my wife, you big bully. You'll have to straighten me out before you lay a finger on her.
Yes. For shame. A man in the United States uniform threatening women with violence. Mr. Latrivia, I was never
Please. Just listen to me for a moment.
Okay, Latrivia, but make it snappy before I call the FBI.
Now, look. You've got me all wrong. I didn't mean to say it. My observations were my officers are the pilot. Say, what is this?
Dear.
Have you been pulling my leg?
Yeah, and I don't mind telling you, Latrivia, you got the stretchingest leg we ever pulled.
Don't be angry, Mr. Latrivia, but it was just like old times, and we just couldn't resist it.
Angry? Oh, I'm so relieved I could kiss you. I think I will.
Hey.
Oh, thank you.
Now, McGee.
Oh, no, you don't. You get away from me. I ain't going to...
Oh, don't be silly. I just wanted to shake hands.
Oh, that.
That's it. Wish you a nice vacation, both of you.
Thanks.
Good luck. And I hope when we meet again, the box score will be no Hitlers, no ruins, no terrors.
Oh, I hope so, too, Latrivia. Happy landings, boy.
Goodbye now.
Great little guy, Latrivia.
Little?
Yeah.
Did you see his chest? I was scared to death he'd take a deep breath and push us right through a showcase.
Yeah, he's a pretty husky little... Oh, you got that sleeping bag I asked for, Bud?
Yes, sir. A genuine snug bug sleeping bag.
Uh-huh.
We have two of these, though the other one is damaged, which makes this one the last one we have in stock.
For the duration?
Yes.
Hey, that's pretty good. A sleeping bag. Just crawl in and zip it up, eh, Bud?
That's all. Waterproof, sun-fast, and guaranteed as long as it lasts.
Now, listen, McGee, I don't think you want to... Oh, hello there, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hi, Wimple, old man. You like this sleeping bag? I'm thinking about buying it for a little camping trip Molly and me are going on.
Oh, I don't care much for them, Mr. McGee. Let sleeping bags lie is my motto.
Mr. Wimple, were you buying some vacation things?
No, Mrs. McGee. Sweetie Face sent me down to pick up a couple of dumbbells.
Oh.
My goodness, I never expected to find you here.
Is that a crack, Wallace?
Oh, of course not, Mr. McGee. I never make cracks.
Oh.
I learned my lesson last week when I flew off the handle with Sweetie Face.
Oh.
You did what, Mr. Wimple?
I flew off the handle.
You finally did it.
Yes, I was out in the kitchen frying some eggs, and Sweetie Face came in.
Yeah?
She grabbed the frying pan, but I hung on to it, so she started whirling me around her head.
Oh.
Finally, I flew off the handle and crashed into the china cabinet.
I bet she was sorry she did that.
No, that made her more angry than ever. She said, aha, in your cups again, and slouted me with a refrigerator.
Very violent woman, I'd say.
Yes. You going to buy this sleeping bag, Mr. McGee?
Well, I don't know, Imp. Mind if I try this one on for size, Bud?
Very happy to have you, Mr. McGee. We don't close till 5:30 if you'd care to take a little nap in it.
Oh, no, McGee.
Oh, I ain't sleepy anyway, Molly. Here, hold the top open while I wiggle into it. That's it. A little wider. That's it.
Fits nicely around the hips, doesn't it?
My goodness. He looks like a little caboose in there, doesn't he, Mrs. McGee?
You mean papoose, Mr. Wimple. A caboose is the rear end of a freight train.
Yes, I know.
Okay, zip it up, Bud. Hey, this is wonderful. I'll buy this, Bud. You better let me out now. It's too hot.
Oh, dear me.
What's the matter?
The little piece that unzips it is broken off. So careless of me.
Well, get it out. Cut me out of this. I'm smothering.
George.
Good heavens, man, it's the $32 sleeping bag.
Well, he's worth more than that to me alive. Rip it open.
Hurry up, bud. Hurry up. Get it out of here.
Just be patient, sir. I have no authority to enter the property of the store.
Well, all that rather dirty luck. Why does everything have to happen to me?
What do you find so amusing, Mr. Wimple?
It just struck me funny, Mrs. McGee, to have you end the season on this note.
On what note, Mr. Wimple?
Well, for once, the bag is holding McGee.
Oh, dear.
There's one thing we all have in common right now. We're very busy. There are so many demands on our time, both on the job and at home, that we're tempted to let certain things slide, just not get them done. You might think, for example, you could just forget the finish of your car. Let it look shabby as long as you watch things like the tires and batteries. But there's more to it than meets the eye. That dirt and grease and road scum that collect on the finish may be doing serious damage by chemical action. The only safe procedure is to remove that shabby film of dirt and keep the finish clean. Then it won't deteriorate. You can keep it clean so easily with Johnson's Car New, the easy-to-use polish that both cleans and polishes with one application, 2 jobs at once. Car New is a liquid. It dries to a powder which is easily wiped off. You'll gladly do a Car New job yourself, and you'll be surprised what it will do for your self-respect and for your driving pleasure. Remember the name Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our sponsors and all of us connected with this show, we want to thank you once more for your wonderful support and loyalty. This last season, as you know, the makers of Johnson's Wax dedicated every 4th program to the presentation of some government message, some phase of the war effort which we thought we might make a little clearer to you in our own peculiar way. We want to thank Mr. Elmer Davis, his Office of War Information, for the highly efficient cooperation we've had in getting our facts straight and eliminating conflict with other programs.
Yes, and keep tuning in this summer at the same hour. Because, you know, Johnson's Wax is again presenting MGM's outstanding teller of amazing tales, John Nesbitt, in his dramatic passing parade. Now, if you remember his famous Letter to Hitler last summer, which was so widely reprinted, you'll be interested to know that in his first show next week, he gives you a new letter to Hitler. It'll be a wonderful series, and we know you'll enjoy it. So until McGee and I see you nice people again.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Of the old-timer and Wallace Wimple heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night when we bring you that outstanding teller of amazing tales, John Nesbitt, in his passing parade. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.